David.
Do you ever notice how women, we're going to talk about Bob Odenkirk, women have this gear, this empathetic gear of going, ah, it goes up at the end. A man might see a puppy and go, ah, but a woman goes, ah, and that's the woman you want when you have erectile dysfunction. Ah.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Sometimes when it doesn't work, I go, what did you say? What did you say to it when I wasn't looking?
You blame her.
Yeah, of course. I go, well, you got to give me a heads up at least 48 to 72 hours. And then I'll start prepping things. And There's
medication. That'll be one of our sponsors, Cialis.
They'll figure it out.
Okay,
guys,
let's get to Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk, so funny. We were there. He was a writer when I was there, when Dana was there. Wrote in some of the hugest sketches. I mean, obviously, motivational speaker is the big monster, arguably one of the best of all time.
Brilliant writer. And he was, because he was writing there and he wasn't really performing much. And then, of course, later on he does,
he's
Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. And now nobody becomes this movie star later in life. But he was very enthusiastic. He'd be like, oh, Dana, it's so funny. Yeah. Oh. And I wrote a movie with him called Tucson, which was a comedy Western for me and John Lovitz. John Lovitz was a Western sheriff. And
Balderdash.
Well, I was a innocent Irish guy coming to town to be the new sheriff, and he was the mayor. And he was on a hangman's noose, and he's yelling at the crowd. And there's a sign. His campaign to be reelected was, "If I don't clean up the town, you can hang me." So it was very Bob. Anyway, you can cut that part out.
Bob's great, and we had a great time there talking to him. Also. Yeah, he's done all this stuff, and he's such a good laugher, and he's a cheerleader. He really helps when you're writing. He helped me a lot with Hollywood Minute, and he's a great guy. I'm excited. I'm always excited to see him when I see him out. I always light up around a dude like that.
He's one of those. He does really cool stuff, like the Bob and David show was just very.
Mr. Show?
Mr. Show.
Commonly known as?
I saw it twice. I don't remember the name of it. But
the show?
I thought it was the Bob and David show. That was more of a literal thing, that it was literally their show. So I was halfway there. But Mr. Show was great. Very low budget, but so esoteric.
That was huge before Breaking Bad. I mean, that was another feather in his cap. Do you have any feathers in your cap?
There's so many feathers, I don't know how to count them.
Dana's got
too many feathers. No, but then he was kind of struggling a little bit, his words. And then Breaking Bad, and then Better Call Saul. So, and then now he's an action star. I think he's the
Nobody is a movie we're talking about, and Nobody is really cool, sorry. And I saw it.
Did
I don't
you guys
think people
see it?
Get when you say Nobody, but yeah.
Nobody is really cool. And so he was great in that. So we will deep dive on our friend Bob Odenkirk.
Is that Bob?
Mm-hmm. Bob.
Which one's Bob? Dana, tell me when he comes on.
Odenkirk. How do you spell your name?
Odenkirk.
How do you spell it? Okeendorf.
Odenkirk.
Odenkirk. Dana car keys.
Odenkirk. Bob, when you were in grade school, did they do something with your name and make fun of you? Because I had Dana car keys, drove me nuts.
No. They called me Odie.
Oh, yeah.
Odie.
I think I called you Odie.
It makes sense.
Spudley, Oldie.
You know what? It took me weeks to come up with that, but I went over your name back and forth.
You ran it by a couple 7-year-olds?
Yeah.
I called him Captain Kirk back in the day.
Oh, that's
Captain
not
Kirk,
bad.
because he was Odenkirk. See? That's all we got. Thanks for coming on, Bob.
I wasn't the captain of anything. You guys, I love your podcast.
Thank you. I can't tell.
Podcasts are the place I go to hang out with my friends now.
That's why I did this, because I don't get to have dinner with friends. I'm kind of an introverted person, and I stay inside a lot. So I'm in my room right now.
This is really like a dinner.
Even though you're broadcasting from the CNN headquarters?
This is left over from the Drew Barrymore show yesterday. And we thought, should we keep it? I go, Bob will smile like he is now, so I can get rid of it. But
What's the, you had Drew on?
no, yeah, and then we went on her show, and she does a weekend update type segment. We were zoomed in, and this was the background. So look how happy Bob is. He's really thinking.
Do you have any questions for Drew, Bob?
No.
No?
We have to do some housekeeping.
Oh, wait, I have a great beginning. Ready? Here we go. Robert John Odenkirk was born in Benron, Illinois to Barbara and John. Then you got SNL.
Wikipedia
That's
alert.
really all there is to it.
That's really a big jump.
I'll get.
Well, that's all that matters,
A little
right?
birdie told me this morning.
Little birdie.
At a given point, he said everybody knew Bob Odenkirk was the funniest guy in Chicago. Someone told me that today when I was doing my research. At some point in time, his initials are RS.
Oh, geez. Robert thought that. Robert thought that, but I don't think anyone else thought that. And
What did Chicago vote on that?
I don't know.
It was common knowledge.
No, they
according
would have picked someone else. Larry. What's his name? He's a stand-up in Chicago. No,
Larry Farley.
Oh shit! No, he was actually really funny.
The cable
Club
guy?
comic who did zanies all the time.
Doctor.
I should know this.
Chicago guy.
And it never left the Chicago circuit. You know who's really funny is a guy named Mike Toomey. Also a Chicago
who
club
just
comic.
stayed there. We had Will Durst. Yeah, we had
they
San
just stayed
Francisco.
there, you know.
Yeah. Just
They like it. Yeah.
Some people don't want to branch out. They do well there. They make money there, and they just stay.
That's right. And
it's okay.
They like
it's
the
cool.
town. They get plenty of work. They get married and have kids, and they
don't go crazy like the rest of us.
and they're local stars, right? They go on the top radio show. Anyway, Bob, how are you? How are you? This is what I would ask you if we were at a restaurant. I'd say, Bob, how are you?
Yeah.
Just generalize.
I'm so good because I'm talking to you guys.
God, that's the best answer I've ever gotten. Thank you.
I really love that you asked me to do this and that I get to hang out with you because it's true. It's like I listen to podcasts to listen to my friends talk, to hear their voices. And because we don't get to do anything, either because we're working or COVID fucked us up for 2 years or just lives you get separated by having families and stuff. And it's just a really wonderful thing to get to just hang out with people. And I've been listening a lot to the Gilbert Gottfried podcast, which has been so entertaining, even though I didn't know Gilbert very well. But a lot of people I do know are on that, and
he just was.
Yeah, Gilbert. When I worked with the Funny Boys, do you remember them? The comedy team in the old days.
Yes.
Jim Valley and Jonathan Schmock, both funny on their own, and they wrote together and performed. And so they were the guys that got me in the improv. Louis got me in the Comedy Store, and I didn't make it. I was 20, and the Funny Boys got me in the improv, and I did make it. And I stayed on Jim Valley's couch. And then he goes, I'm leaving for a week, but someone's going to stay here. And I go in and it's like, hello. It was Gilbert Gottfried in his underpants. And he just sat eating Cocoa Puffs. And I had a roommate for a week. And I was like, who's this man? It's very weird to live with someone you don't know. And so I don't know him well like you, Bob, but I did get to spend a week just hearing him. Then I'd see him out and about. And
he was so
I just say what everyone else said. Very, very interesting brain and
it sounds like
interesting guy, very funny.
Gilbert would share some certain sensibilities, Bob. The way he deconstruct. I mean, his Andrew Dice Clay bit, his bad impression. They were just so funny, and he was just.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly appreciated the hell out of him. He was. I only would see him around in New York, actually, and you probably did too at clubs. When I did SNL. You guys probably don't know this, but I would go because you probably didn't even know I did some stand up once in a while, but I would do Sunday night at the Improv, which is not was kind of a sad club, but for me, it was like, I'd just get a couple laughs, and it just was like, it made me feel so much better after my week of getting the shit kicked out of me. And just to even get a few laughs on that stage meant a lot to me. It like charged me up for the week ahead. And so I would see him and Larry David and those guys around that club. It was interesting.
Well, those are hard-earned laughs. I mean, when you're by yourself and you walk up and just get a couple laughs, that means a lot. Yeah,
and but it gave me a little boost that I needed. And when stand-up is giving you a boost, you know you're in a hole.
I remember going to that improv.
That's true.
Dana, this is stupid, and we'll get to Bob in about 40 minutes. But what I did is I would come from Arizona, and they said, I was a stand-up, and my buddy said, he knows this guy, Gary Grant, that can book you gigs. So I'd fly the crummiest airline. I'd stay at Columbia with my friend. I would take my suitcase with props.
Oh, yeah.
And I would get my New York coat, in quotes, which was my heavy, like winter coat I would never wear in Arizona. It looked like a duster. I looked like Young Guns. So then I'd walk to the subway, take the subway to 44th, walk to the improv, wait until they assigned me some comedian. I remember this guy was 36 and he had a Nova, and I go, if I'm still doing this at age 36, please kill me, because I was 20. And then we drove to like BF Packies or somewhere in Jersey. This is how you did it. I'd do a set, bomb. I would get maybe $60, come home, maybe spring for a cab fare because it's too late and scary to do the subway, and do that for 2 weeks, and I'd clear 500, and it was great. But I got to see the improv, and I thought the improv, I'd always meet at the improv was the point. But I always heard about it, and I go in there, and the stage is like 4 inches high. It's like not that big of a deal.
Not
the one
at all.
in New York, yeah.
You know what was interesting about that when I first went there was they had that wall of photographs when you came out of the showroom into the bar. And in those photographs were stuff from the 60s and 70s. And there's Andy Kaufman, and there's, probably Jerry Seinfeld's up there.
Richard
but then
Belzer.
there's a guy juggling, and there's a singer. And I asked, I don't think I asked Silver, who ran that club at the time, but I asked probably the bartender or somebody, what's with the singer, and what is this juggler doing? And they said, well, that's what the club used to be. That's what all clubs used to be, is specialty act, singer, or music, and then a comic.
And Sullivan,
And then it became, and then the stand-up comedy boom hit, and it was like, everybody get the fuck out of here. It's just stand-ups. It's just.
Then you had like Peter Potofsky. There was like guys that were juggler comedians, magic comedians, and they kept the comedy part in. It was probably easier to get on stage.
I think it probably, there's some value to it in that, if it's just one comic after another, it's like, if there's just something between the comics that can kind of clear the palate a little bit, it's kind of I don't know. To me, the issue I had, and I write about it in my book, which is why we're talking, right?
Comedy, drama. I'm halfway through it. It's great. Fascinating.
I hope you like it, Dana.
I just got to the comedy part
I have my own lane of this life we've shared together, and then where we intersected was so cool. I just have great memories of you, and we wrote a movie together, which you primarily wrote, but called Tucson, and we had a lot of. We had a lot
I remember
of fun.
Tucson.
Yeah, that still is a great, really funny script.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Dana. I think so, too. I think it's a great scenario that you cooked up, which is that little guy in the West. And he's
Irishman. Yeah.
Irishman good with his guns, but just sweet as hell. And so the opposite of Clint Eastwood, just the very polar opposite of a Clint Eastwood character. And what was I saying? Just that.
You remember the first scene? I thought it must have been. It's so you.
Oh, what?
Well, I think I come to town. I'm from Ireland.
Hanging the guy?
Yeah, and Lovitz is got a hangman's noose around him, and there's posters. He was running for mayor, and the posters said, if I don't clean up the town, you can hang me. and then Lovitz was the conniving, oh, hello. And I was, well, I'm good with my guns, So anyway, but that was,
there was a joke in there, Dana, that somebody else did in a movie in the last few years. It was one of the characters was named like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And his name was Clint Eastwood. And
there was so much great stuff.
Somebody did that joke recently.
Didn't you write? Or John Hamm. Sometimes when John Hamm is in a show, they call him John Hamm. Just as on Larry David. It's funny. But
yeah.
Should we go back to and then make our way to SNL? I'm sort of curious because I didn't see it, but what was the stuff that got you?
I talk a lot about the trauma of SNL. SNL is pretty easy to write about because it was so hard and difficult for me personally. But that's true for a lot of people, and the story's been told many times, but I just told my version of it. But it's such a crucible, right, of pressure and desire and discovering yourself. And it just leads to a lot of interior trauma. And then that's something to write about. Whereas, when I got to the later parts of the book and I'm writing about Breaking Bad there was a journey there to become a better actor, but also the journey of the show becoming famous. But the show itself was a well-oiled machine with nothing but pros in every direction and nobody having any emotional issues, just working really hard and supporting each other and
pulling together.
Yeah. And so there's not much to say. Isn't it great? The writers did a great job, and then we all worked really hard and it turned out well. And there's nothing to say.
It's not like if someone has a good scene and everyone goes, that guy's the best one. He's the best one in that scene, and then the rest of the day you feel like shit.
Right.
That's
that's
different.
You're getting it day to day. I assume, like you when you're doing Better Call Saul,
and
like,
people are writing
for you. Day. It's going to be great, right?
Especially over time, the more you do it, and you get to know the values of the show, what's good about the show, and you see it coming across in the writing, and what you captured that day, and think, well, that's going to play really well or be fun to watch, and it's just not there's not as much to say as there is to say about Saturday Night Live, where there's so many books and they're all fascinating. I love them all, by the way. One of the reasons I wrote my book is I love to read showbiz memoirs. I just love them.
Yeah.
And usually when somebody gets into something that works or they're talking about their hit show, there's not much to say. It's all about the struggle and the failure and the loss, and that's where there's juicy stories.
Dana, when I got there, Bob was there already when I got to the
I believe.
Viewers.
Yeah.
Bob was there and Dana was there, and I came in. And Bob is always, I saw Bob more than Dana just because Bob was a writer with me and we were in there all the time. But Bob's always sort of in a good mood, shockingly, when I look back, because it's hard to be in a good mood at that place. But always laughing, always took a second for me. So did Conan. But you guys at least would explain a little bit of what was going on, because I was really a rube. I was a middle act. I didn't know how to write. I didn't know how to use a yellow pad. I had a square wooden desk, and Downey goes, "Here's your room, bye." And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. What am I doing? And so everyone has so much to do on their own plate. You do, Bob, Dana does. And it's hard to take a second to tell someone, hey, because it's someone that not ultimately might take your job, but just one more person kind of in your way in a weird way. And you have to put that aside for a second and be a human being. And you did that. It was very nice. And now whenever I see you at a party, if it's a showbiz thing, I don't see Dana out as much unless we have dinner, but I run into Bob places and then I just beeline over to him because we always just start laughing within seconds. And that's fun to have. And we got through the craziness and we're both sort of sane, I think.
Absolutely, buddy. That's how I feel. I never told you this, but that party at Guy O'Series where I met McCartney and got to sit with him for 15, 20 minutes. Nice. As Naomi and I were walking in, my wife and I, I'm dreading going to this party because I'm, 59 or at the time 54 or whatever, and thinking, fuck it, I don't want to go out anymore at all, ever. And I'm thinking it's just going to be intimidating. There's going to be famous people here, and I don't know what to say to them. And I turn to Naomi and I go, you know what? David Spade will be here. And buddy, we walk in the front door and we look down the hall. And there you are. It fucking blew our minds.
I love it.
He's a man about town.
There was one time I went to Guys. I didn't even go to I obviously don't go to the Oscars, but I didn't go to Vanity Fair or anything. I just went straight over to Guys because Rock was over there. And I get there, and before you get in, there's a line for the bathroom. So I just stand in line for a second, and then McCartney comes behind me, and then he has a little chitter-chatter, and then I'm floored, and then Bono comes out. So I knew I was like, again, like you, I don't think anyone knows what to say to anyone. So yeah. I do a few jokes that, sort of strike out, and then we all kind of dart our eyes, and then I drift away.
Well, Bob, do you have something throughout, Mr. Show or anything? If someone comes up to you in an airport or something, I assume like most celebrities, specific compliments are the most flattering rather than you're great. Because someone came up to me, I'll just couch it. They came up to me at an airport and they said, I love skinheads in Maine, the thing I did with Colbert on my show. And it's so specific. My friends share that and laugh about it all the time. But you must have 100 of those, especially with Mr. Show. There's so many quirky...
Mr. Show.
Yeah, I'll tell you, everything. I have... we've all gotten to do lots of cool stuff between the three of us. I've just had the variety in my career is sometimes strange in its intensity, because this movie, Nobody, that I did, this action movie, that's like around the world, a whole different audience that probably they've never heard of Mr. Show. Some of them have seen Breaking Bad, and they're just like a whole nother set of people. But the strangest thing is I always do have to do the math when somebody comes up to me of like, I have no idea what you know me from. What you think I did that was great. And I've had the biggest surprise is how more than a few times a year, somebody will come up and go, you are so great on How I Met Your Mother. I mean, you're just the best. Wow. And it's like, wow. I was on the show 6 times. Do you have anything like that, David? Do you have anything?
Probably.
Yeah, there are little nuggets that I've done that people, I get Emperor's New Groove, and that's the only thing they know me from because my voice. And then you get things that are like Light Sleeper, where I played one scene, and someone doesn't really know you at all, and they know you're famous or you're something, but that's the only thing in your whole life they saw. And they appreciate it. So I'm happy. And it's true. I can sort of guess by who's coming up. I'm guessing sort of what they know me from. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you might be able to get a feel. If they just say you're great, I go, yeah, well, let's dig in.
I find that if someone is funny or in one scene of a movie or one part of a show, if they catch me and really make me laugh or impress me, I'm kind of like a fan from then on, even if it's just like a small cameo. Yeah. But Bob, the interesting part of your story obviously is like we know where it sort of is. It went. And I'm just wondering, when we go back to 87 to 91 and knowing you and your work ethic, your smarts and funny, all that stuff, like, how does that guy, what was the emotional, who was Bob in those years that was so tenacious and so talented that then you went to this, and then, of course, Nobody is, that they're going to make 10 of those. That was so great for that genre,
to reinvent
that genre.
Thanks. Listen, first of all, I got to tell you, when they finally greenlit that movie and I went to go make it, obviously I'm thinking probably we're going to fuck everything up and it'll be a mess. But I also thought, if it works,
yeah, then
the thing I'm most excited about is my friends going, what the fuck?
Yes, I said it. I'm like, it what? It's like Bob is doing this now? And it's not a one-off. That is too good. And it's like too fucking good.
I watch it and I go, this better be exactly what I think it's going to be. And it was, and it delivered. And the fight, I think it was on a bus or something. I'm like, what the fuck?
Fight scenes,
I couldn't even do, I was like, I'm a bigger puss out of all of us. And I couldn't even do the fake stunts for that because I'm such a puss. I'd be like, we can't even fake do it with you.
Yeah.
It's because I go, I don't really need to get beaten up, but I can't lift my leg up and kick. And this will hurt my clavicle if I hold this too high. So I liked that it was you, and you have to be in shape.
Oh yeah,
just to do a fight scene, a fake
for that, right?
I really
to pull
did.
punches, to do anything.
Guys, I worked really hard because I knew I had a long way to go, and listen, right from the start, it was like, look, if we're going to do this, it's not going to be ironic. I'm not going to wink at the camera. I'm not going to give myself an out. I'm going to look like an asshole. I'm going to look like a huge
badass
middle life crisis. Yeah. Loser, pathetic, like what happened to you guy. I'm going to do this thing all the way or not at all. And then if it works, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, well, who didn't think it wouldn't work? I mean, come on. But I did.
When do you realize it worked? At a test screening or at just rough dailies, or is there a certain point where you go, this is actually coming together?
COVID really worked in our favor because we had a cut. It was good, but it felt kind of like an indie movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was a little slow and small. And then because of COVID, this editor, who's the second editor on the project, whose name is on it because it should be, said, I got nothing to do. Give me your movie. Let me fuck with it. And 2 weeks later, this guy turned the movie back to us, and it was like, oh, wow. Okay, wait a second. And the interesting thing is he built the sequence that opens the film out of shit that was on the cutting room floor. Not shot for the movie,
really?
Just thrown away.
What a worker.
And everything else in the movie, all he did was chop it a little bit, shift some of the order a little bit, not much. And it was a totally different movie, totally different experience, and just worked from the get-go. That
Titan and Brighton.
It was amazing what this guy did.
Because you connected to the character, because it does work in the whole emotional arc. You really do I feel sympathetic for your character. I want him to win. Yeah, well, that's actually, honestly, that's one of the things I thought I could bring to that genre is vulnerability. Vulnerability, genuine, like that you bought. Yeah. Like, because a lot of times, you don't really, they try to have it, but it's forced. You don't really buy it, but you don't care. If you're watching an action movie, a lot of times you don't care. You're like, so what? I like this guy. I like the scenario.
Go hit somebody.
Yeah, it's fine. Go, let's see the action and let's have some fun with it. But I thought, is there something I could bring to this genre? And I thought, around the world, I'm known from Better Call Saul. And that's a character who's getting his ass kicked in a lot of ways, and emotionally getting his ass kicked. And I play him, and there's a sort of a great degree of empathy that people have for that guy. And what the story Evan Schiff is the editor. Evan Schiff came on board and made that thing a beauty. It's important to give credit.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
well, if you're bullied a lot, Bob, like I was and Dana was, and those movies are fucking I love because it's what I could never do. And when you see like Death Wish with Charles Bronson, he's at least a guy that's not getting bullied every day because he's tough. But when you see a guy like you, I totally buy. I go, all right, Bob's a nice guy. He's out there trying to fucking get through the world like everybody. And people just always fuck. They do it to me all the time. And so I know Chris Rock is doing the sequel. But anyway, but I feel like when you see you in that situation, and I'm like, please fucking screw these guys up. It's like the Equalizer or something.
Right. And it's the fantasy wish fulfillment that I could deliver on because I could really be that first iteration of the guy, and you really felt like, he really is. Yeah. It's not just, I don't know, Tom Cruise with glasses on, or or a buttoned up shirt, shirt buttoned up to the collar.
I think you go into a bar, or you go into someone, and you say you want to see somebody, they don't want you to, and you don't back down at all on anything, which is I love. You just go, I think it's best if you're like, this is the way I want to talk in all my whole life. I just want to say, listen, here's what's going to happen. I hit you, you hit the ground. I hit the next guy, he goes down. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? And you're like, you wait about 30 seconds. You'll see how this hit goes. I love that shit.
Well,
I love it.
So the fun of this idea, this thing I had, the secret I had inside me when I'm training, which is like my friends, Dana Carvey, David Spade, all these guys, if I get to make this and it comes off, they're just not going to know where to turn. They're going to have to go to the hospital and get an MRI.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little bit of opening an old-fashioned newspaper. Bob Odenkirk starring in action film. What the fuck?
And the poster's like you kind of beat up, I think.
That is a great poster.
What's going on here? Yeah.
Well, it was a great joy to make that happen and to have that come to life. But anyway.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Dana. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just for a second, because you're starring in this film, and film and television have all overlapped. Now it's like the best stuff's on television. You're starring in a film, so like when you're like in the 70s, whatever, what films woke you up to filmhood or show business? Like, what was a seminal film for you as a kid? It could be for Ben Stiller. It was The Poseidon Adventure. For Bill Hader, it was Taxi Driver.
Hanks was 2001.
I can tell you, American Graffiti.
Oh yeah, okay. Ron Howard, 1973. Wow. Harrison Ford.
Yeah, and I'd gone to films. Fun movies at the Cineplex, and they were just building Cineplexes at the time. But we had an old-time movie theater in our small town of Naperville, Illinois, and I'd seen a John Wayne film there on its first run.
Big Technicolor.
That's how old I am.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Rio Lobo.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the Cowboys.
And I liked it, and it was great. And I loved going to movies when I could, but we didn't go to a lot of movies, but going to that little old theater where, they showed just the latest thing from the studios for a week or two, right? And seeing American Graffiti, man, that was a totally different vibe than everything I had seen.
I remember it
in that theater or anywhere. That was, it was new wave for film in America. And it felt more real. It had a modern energy to it, and it's a very good film.
Yeah,
I mean,
George Lucas.
It's really good. Yeah,
it's so interesting to see a movie that sort of changes the way you think, and maybe it tilted you toward comedy, maybe not, but just. That's the beauty of movies when you see a bunch that do nothing and you're just sort of killing time, and then one just grabs you. Right. Nothing like it. It's what you want to do when you make movies. You go, I want one that people remember.
Right. Something.
That's the funnest part.
Yeah, that's the thing a movie can be that a TV show pretty much isn't, which is this kind of very core elemental connection that just gets you deeply. It's like it's a fable and it really takes you on a ride. I think with TV, you're always, no matter how well it's done, you just aren't as close to those lead characters. You're still just watching the story. You can be totally wrapped in the story, but you're just not, I don't know. I feel like movies just kind of grab you and take you on that one ride, and you feel close to those characters in a personal way. But
I agree.
It might be the fact that it's singular, Bob. Yeah. Like it's just you go, and this is at beginning, middle, end, and you go, wow, and you want to see the whole thing again. And TV, sometimes you go, if someone says, "Did you see the series?" I'm like, "Oh, what?" And they're like, "It's on episode 4." Yeah. I mean, like season 4. You go, I can't. But I don't have 200 hours right now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bob. I just think the power of film more than ever now is turning off the cell phone and not being distracted, because you're watching something with your wife, you're enjoying it, and then ring, ring, a ding, a ding. I mean, it's just it's a problem.
Yeah,
So the focus of a film, is really strong and really a powerful experience. Anyway, I still love
TV and I love everything that we all get to do. And I like moving around. And certainly don't think I have a future as a movie star, but I will get to make a few more movies, but it's not important to me. It wasn't like the drive of my life. I was driven by comedy, as my book really, really says. I mean, I'm really trying to warn people with that title.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people know me from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, but I want to say, I'm going to talk about, comedy in Chicago in 1985, and you're probably not going to give a shit about that. And
right, you definitely have fans that don't know you from comedy at all.
Yeah, at all.
That's rare for us, for comedians, that you have a whole huge new crowd.
It's true, and I want to move around between these things because that's always been the most fun thing for me, and that's one of the reasons I think I love sketch comedy so much. Is you're just jumping around from different ideas, different different tones. Something's really broad, something's a little subtler. I like jumping around between all that stuff.
So how did you find yourself? Because not everyone, if people should read the book, but just quickly that journey from, I know Monty Python was a big wake up call for you, and then you went to Chicago Second City. But what was it about Monty Python that's not in the book? What are your even today? You feel like that is the one that you and your brother Bill just went, holy shit.
Yeah, I think. There's a lot of comedy in the 70s that we all watched. It had kind of some of it was great, for sure. I mean, I loved Carol Burnett's show. The vibe with those people was like joining a party that was a very welcoming party.
Friendly and sweet.
It wasn't like they were, friendly and sweet. And we sure needed that in my house. So I loved that. But I think Python was, for me, the thing that spoke about how I looked at the world, and it kind of put an arm around me and said, the adults are crazy assholes, and don't worry, you're not the only one thinking this, and it's okay. You can laugh at it. That's what you can do, and I think it's because they're young guys. They were in their 20s making that show, and they were very smart. And they're very silly, like extremely silly, but very smart. Yeah, and that's the
tough combo to get right.
Yeah, that's the magic combination to me, and it just spoke to the way I needed to see the world, to be really comforted. I mean, this is what all the things we do and the things that affect us on a deep level do. In whether it's a movie or a book or a TV show or someone's stand-up act, is it makes you feel less alone. You just get that feeling of, I'm not the only one who sees this in the world. And when you're a kid and you're 10 or 11, at the time I was, I think, 11 when I first saw Python, that is a crucial, you're just about to become an adult, probably really sensing, and in my house, I mean, life was extremely unstable at that point, because there's, at that point, 5 kids, 2 more to come.
Wow.
2 more to come. How the fuck does that happen? When, financially it's off the rails. There's no future. There's no stability anywhere near you. Jesus. And like and you just as a kid, no one's including you in any of that shit. Your parents.
Your dad was Alec Baldwin.
Oh boy, I wish he was.
Mine wasn't a picnic either, but we've talked about this, I'm sure, privately. But it was rough. But yours sounds really intense. And
but I mean, look, but it's not that special. No, I mean, I try to express in the book. Look, I know my childhood is not special. It is a very typical 70s childhood. People were just starting to have the word alcoholism in their vocabulary. I mean, there was, it was just coming to understand a lot of all of my dad's friends all ended up broke, bankrupt, divorced. All
really?
Of them. And he used to take us out. He used to occasionally, when he would hang out with us, he would take us to his office and we'd go to lunch with these 5 guys. and they get fucking ripped at lunch, and all of them car crashes, divorce.
It's like America.
The playbook. It was like the playbook. Hey, you had your car crash. I'm next. You know, and I remember my dad getting in his car accident, and his was a good one. He went through the window.
In his car accident?
Yeah. He went through the window and landed like 15 feet outside the car.
Oh, wow.
And I remember him looking in the mirror, picking glass out of his head. Like even like a week later, he's still picking little pieces of glass out of his bald head.
Jeez.
God
so
damn.
you went in.
But come on.
That was the 70s. That was a dad.
Yeah, right?
I mean, my dad was a drunk.
We had all kinds of
mean,
excitement. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, the bottom line is it wasn't special. It was just where I was at when comedy came along and told me, yeah, he's nuts. It's crazy. It's okay. Yeah. Just laugh at it. And Steve Martin on SNL was also like a superpower rocket ship to like Crazy Town and the best comedy, the best mix of, conceptualized, like the Fast Drunk Brothers, like that's fucking off the rails stuff,
the Wild and Crazy Guys.
Two Wild and Crazy Guys.
I am.
But they pull it off, and it isn't. Look, there was a thing about the 70s humor that was kind of cute and palsy and didn't make me happy. The dangerous stuff is what made me happy, and that's what came around this time for me.
Yeah, Carlin. And
by the way,
Pryor.
your American Graffiti was my Life of Brian in Arizona.
Really?
I saw Life of Brian, and I was like, "What the fuck is it?" I didn't know anything on Monty Python. I just went to a comedy, and we snuck in because it was R-rated.
Wild, and
it really hit me like, what the fuck are these guys? It was nothing like I'd seen. And, I don't want to harp on it, but I just wanted to acknowledge that Monty Python stuff did hit me also. I mean, I saw Animal House. I saw all the stuff I'm supposed to see and fucking loved. And then that was just a little different move and smart, silly, of course, and just doing stuff we didn't do here.
Oh, yeah. I had the same reaction. All of my friends loved it.
And you, now, Bob, I have to ask Bob if he wrote for Dennis because I didn't know that. I don't think I knew you wrote for Dennis Miller before SNL.
Yeah, before I got on as a writer, I would send jokes. Well, I would send scripts to Robert. Mm-hmm. Here's what happened.
Okay.
I was doing different crazy shit in Chicago. Stand-up, sketch shows, anything. And Robert Smigel, I'd seen his work at this little theater that we all went to school at called the Players Workshop, and he wrote a show there that later became a hit show. It ran for like a year and a half and made tons of money. And so I saw that show in its early iteration, and it was already solid. It's such good writing and so strong. It's so like it just works. Like I had a hit ratio of like 15%, and I didn't care. By the way, that was fine. And Smigel had a hit ratio of like 90%, and it was like
he was a big slugging percentage.
Like, holy shit, man! I don't know where that comes from. Robert says it's the Rupert Pupkin effect, is what he calls his achievement as a young writer. Where all these years I've been pretending in my head that I was this writer, and I've been sort of writing stuff in my head, like Rupert Pupkin in his basement. And then he said, if you notice on the show, in the movie, The King of Comedy, when he actually gets a chance, it actually works.
He's actually pretty good.
Laughs. Yeah. And it's like just from hundreds of hours of doing it in front of the wall.
Interesting.
And I hadn't done what Robert did, I think, not even close to the hours he'd put in on really examining writing and sketch work and what a sketch is. But I saw his work. I loved it. He saw me in this crazy show. It was off the rails, silly stuff, but I was doing characters and the only thing you could recommend about it was my commitment and my silliness. I mean, it was super silly. And he got that I was willing to just go that far and thought it was cool. And we started writing a show together, and then he got hired at SNL. And so here I am in Chicago And he doesn't know anybody when he gets to SNL. So he's calling me up on a Monday and going, I have these 2 ideas, calling me again on Tuesday, reading the script to me. I'm going, do this joke. What about this? I'm just pitching him jokes. And he just has a partner, even though he's, at SNL, new to the job, and he's got someone to call and work his stuff with. And so I'm sending stuff in. I guess he's sharing it with some other writers. And then I'm sending jokes in for Dennis, and Dennis is doing them. I mean, you know what that means to somebody who's waiting tables in Chicago.
Yeah. You see a joke on the air?
Yeah, I remember my first joke. I remember delivering food to the table at Ed DeBevick's in Chicago, and I keep checking the screen because they have SNL on. You can't hear it, but it's on the TV. And there's that picture of Bob Hope, and there's my nasty joke, mean-spirited joke. Mean-spirited from this fucking kid.
Do you want to tell us what it is?
The statute of limitations on respecting Bob Hope for his earlier work ran out today.
Taking a shot.
I love it.
And that's the statute of limitations. It's all the language, and it's like a tightly written.
Funny. And it's short
sweet,
and tight.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And people,
and it's something everyone's thinking. Yes, no one says out loud.
No one says out loud, and and it did great. And Dennis does a couple of my jokes over the next year or two. And Smigel, actually, there was one scene I wrote that got on. It was the Sideshow of the Stars. So, they had Circus of the Stars, and this was Sideshow of the Stars, where they have, I don't even remember the jokes, but somebody's got hair all over their body that you didn't know or something. Some sitcom actor. And Robert, of course, punched that way up. But I only that was the only sketch that I got on when I hadn't been a writer there yet. And then I had that meeting with Lauren that I detail in the book, and I kind of exaggerated. But the truth is, Dana and David, I went into Lauren's office, and I really did think, this guy does not want his ass kissed. He's heard enough people, praise him. He wants to, if he's going to hire somebody, he wants to hear somebody with a critical mind.
Some moxie.
I got to hear what you said. I'm sure it's in the book.
Well, I mean, I just went like, I don't know. What do you think of the show? Do you like it? I don't know.
I could fix it.
It's been better. It's been better for sure. I mean, I think the earlier,
wow.
And what comedy do you like?
What do you like?
Oh, Monty Python. Now that was great, and that was great because it was smart and silly, and they didn't have to, they knew their lines. They weren't, reading cue cards. I'm fucking ripping the show. Because
thanks for coming in, Bob.
I kind of think he's going to like this, I mean, talk about not reading a room, man. Holy shit. And the fact that he hired me is insane. The only thing I had in my favor was he doesn't really, he doesn't have to examine that kind of hiring that closely. I mean, if a couple of writers want you to hire somebody, you're going to say, sure, go ahead, give them a try. Mm-hmm. We can try.
They think they're good because he's not first. How can he tell in a meeting?
Yeah, but also,
and he goes, in fairness, I wasn't listening.
The other thing I'd say, David, is, I mean, Lauren loves Python too.
Friends with all of them.
Lauren also, Lauren probably would say, if you said, what's the best comedy show of the last 100 years? He'd go, oh, well, it's not my show, it's Monty Python. Mm-hmm. And so the fact is he probably kind of, the other thing is he also knows what it's like to sit across from a very nervous young person who doesn't know what to say, is completely wildly intimidated. And he's just done that 10,000 times and probably kind of gave me a little break for that. maybe.
Sure. He's very funny also, and I don't know if that always comes across that we talk about him because we joke, but he's very funny, he's very dry, and when you can make Lauren laugh at read through, it's so fun when he cracks up.
Yeah.
Sometimes he slaps the table and laughs and you're like, "Oh my God, what a home run."
Yeah. I never did that, but yeah.
Bob, we Dana, I don't know if you remember when I was having some troubles on the show, and I think I would just credit Bob with the one in my picture in my head when I'm joking about People magazine or just killing time in the day. And Bob is a great laugher, by the way, which always helps disarm, make you
Very
feel better.
Generous laugher.
And
a sincere laugher.
Sort of came up with Hollywood Minute and steered it with me. And remember, Bob, we were thinking maybe it could be a show.
Oh, David, what did I do to help you with that?
Well,
I just said what you do here back in the writer's room, you should just do that.
Yes, it was something that simple, but it made me, and we were framing it, and I'm like, could it be a show called Guess What? Remember, it's like, guess what? You're an idiot. And then it turned into just a series of photos, which when you said that Bob Hope one, that was kind of like a simple way it's put, do a joke, try to think of something people are thinking. Everyone's kissing ass to celebrities. I was unknown, which helped, just innocent looking. That was part of it. That's why I didn't want to do it as much later because I sort of turned into someone people knew, and then it turns meaner, and then it was just kind of fun to take someone's legs out for no reason. Like, hey, this guy is famous. Fuck you, and there was always a reason. Like, I didn't want to go at people more than once because you get one freebie if they screw up, and I didn't want it to be that mean. It was just for fun, but but it was a big help. Just the fact that you encourage or even listen to me in between we're eating Wally and Joseph's or whatever, it was nice.
Well,
and then it sort of just got me thinking.
I love to hear somebody young. I've helped a couple of young talent groups or people to find some way forward, and it's because I know what it's like to tread water and lose ground and be lost, and if you can give somebody a little cue that maybe gives them a shortcut or clarifies what they're doing already, and it's a great feeling to be able to do that. And I guess I've done that even more than I thought, but I like to do it. I mean, part of it is, one of the ways that you can use your skills when you've been at SNL for a few years as a writer, and by the time you were there, I'd been there for 3 years, and I finally was feeling like I'm starting to understand what the show needs. Because instead of what I wanted it to be, which was insane, because it's never going to be Monty Python. It's not
change it to
loud. Right.
Oh my God! There's so much about it.
The reality. What's the reality? How can you help? What the show is?
It took me for years. Yeah. But somewhere around my third year, my brain started to calm down and go, wait, it's not this other thing that you want it to be. It is a thing that has all kinds of, first of all, it's so fucking hard to do. Whenever we talk about it and we critique the show, and I mean, the fucking thing just on the face of it is impossible.
It's absurd.
It's an impossible thing. It's absurd. And the more I go back, the more I go, when I go back and see the show being done, I'm like, oh my God, this is impossible. When I was young, I never thought that. Oh my God. When I got hired there, I was like, come on, how come this isn't better? Come on, work, you guys. This is not hard. This is easy. This shouldn't be hard. And it's like, once you've produced a few things, you're like, you want me to do a show Saturday night with sets?
And how good all the departments are. Yeah, the departments are so fucking on it.
They're so good.
Yeah. They're so cracked. Yeah.
Anyway.
Did you ever think during a long dress show, sometimes I thought maybe tonight's the night the show won't go on. They'll show a rerun or something. Sometimes it just seemed
I never thought that. I mean, I think it more now, but again, when I was there, Dana, when I started there, I had I don't know, you guys know, the people who start in this business, there's such a strange mix of confidence, self-doubt, ego, self-hatred. It's the weirdest. Like, how does it work? How does it work that you have a friend we all have a friend, literally walks around all day hating themselves, talking about how stupid and dumb they are, and then gets on stage and tells a crowd of strangers what they think. Yeah. Like,
it's a madhouse.
Well, how does that work? Something's wrong here, because if you don't think you're worth anything, then you shouldn't be thinking, give me that mic. I need to tell everyone what I
give me that mic.
I just always felt
I need to lecture these people.
Bob, I always felt if I didn't kill, I'd get fired. I felt like I had to destroy it. Maybe I pushed a little too much at times until I got to Johnny Carson. Was the only sketch I did toward the end where I wasn't pushing. But I just wanted to make the point that, are you still with us? Your screen's frozen. Oh, okay. Yeah. God, you were just...
Oh, yeah.
Is that it seemed like you were... Like, if you told me you had a pretty good time on SNL, wouldn't surprise me, because it seems like you were sort of around a lot. Like you'd be in a room with Conan or Robert, or here's an example I wanted the audience to hear. Franken and I are doing a George Bush Sr. We're sitting around somewhere going, hey, I'm doing the thing, gotta do it. And then it was, we're trying to go, I think Al said, in the lesson of Vietnam, and you had just eavesdropped or just walked by and you just went, stay out of Vietnam. And that killed on the show on Saturday. Lesson of Vietnam, stay out of Vietnam. Do you remember that moment, Bob? But I think you were around the show a lot. Grumpy Old Man was really you originated that. I don't know. It seemed like you were around.
I listen, if I try to think of the things I contributed to SNL, and basically I say in my book that I didn't help at all, and I got paid, and I learned so much about how to write a sketch and what a sketch is made of. And then I gave nothing back, nothing in return. Like Lauren totally got the shit end of the stick with me. But probably those things maybe added up to something. The little things that I was able to do because Robert included me in writing, or, anybody did. I mean, I can think of some of them because they stick out, because they were, it meant a lot to me when I was able to help and say something that helped. I wanted it to work. That's the other thing. Sometimes I think when I talk about the show, it sounds like I hated the show or thought it was dumb and fuck this place. And it's not true. It's not true. I wanted nothing more than to be helpful and meaningful there. And it would have meant so much to me to feel that way. But I just did my best. And
but you brought in like motivational speaker, which is one of the greats. I mean, that's just that alone. You could have fucking walked off.
David, that was after I left. That scene was.
Is that true?
That was the next. Yeah, that they did that scene the year after I left. Now they gave me credit for it, of course, because I wrote it. I wrote it alone in my apartment in Chicago. But that wasn't even. I had left.
Van Down by the River. Just that.
Wow.
Van Down by the River is poetry.
I mean, just the fact that it's one of the most. I mean, listen, I just was in the scene and I hear about it every day. So, but I had nothing to do with it. I just was cast. Thank God, Lord Jesus.
Well, you guys know that as proud as I am that I wrote it, and I'm supremely proud. It's a standout moment in my life.
And SNL's life.
Is, Chris Farley is the reason.
Freight Train.
He's just, come on. I mean, that guy. I mean, I talk about him a lot in the book, and it's weird, and it's fun to talk to you guys right now, because I mentioned to Howard Stern on his podcast that, it's strange to write about somebody who I mean, David, you were very close to him. I was not. I mean, I felt very close to him, but so did anyone who saw him perform.
Or even hung out with him.
Or
He's
met
such
him.
a sweet.
Yeah, he was so nice and look in the eye and just like shake your hand and be happy. And they felt like, oh, that's why he was so lovable. They're like, oh, this guy's my friend immediately.
Yeah, Howard said, I didn't really know him. And I said, but you did. You did, because you saw him
perform. Yeah.
You saw him as a.
That's basically what it was. Yeah.
And so I was I felt a little strange about writing as much as I did, but it was pure honesty, and he affected me and impacted me greatly, as he did everyone who got to know him. So, it's fun to talk about how I got to write that sketch and that it played so well on the show, but it's all Chris, The show is always the show is always performance. One of the things that probably bothered me was that SNL is always going to reward and celebrate a performance laugh over a construction story laugh. And as a writer, I'm wanting those two to at least be equal.
Right.
Or if not, lean in my direction, where you go, yeah, that performer who says bad about there, he's all right. But the fucking idea, that's so well constructed.
And that probably was Jack Handy, right? Jack Handy. Yeah.
A Jack Handy sketch is a Jack Handy sketch. It is funny because Jack Handy is fucking genius. And it does it. You can put 7 other actors in there. If they're okay, you're going to laugh your ass
off. Caveman lawyer. I mean, Phil was great, but the concept of what it was just so Jack Handy.
And Phil nailing it, but he's nailing a great
piece of writing
sketch that was written so well. And Handy sketches, like a fingerprint within a half a page at read through. You're like looking around going, is this Jack Handy? Like it's immediately comes out of the gate.
So Bob, we know you have another appointment, so I just wanted to ask you about your health for a second. How are you? People say to me after that I had my event, they said, "How do you feel?" Even a year later, are you feeling okay? And I always go, I either feel perfect or I'm in the hospital. So there's no like Bob's having a good day today. You're completely whole and energetic and healed because the science is there to make this go away, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm great. I'm working out, doing the same workout I did when I did Nobody, and I'm back to it, and I feel great. I've got good energy all day. It took a while, Dana. I had 5 weeks off after the heart attack. I had 5 weeks off, and then when I went back to work, they limited my hours to 12 hours a day, and that was actually
limited.
That was really
so quick. We could get started here. Yeah,
and I needed that. Because I really got to about 8 hours a day, and I would just start to sit down in the closest chair to the set.
It takes it out of you, getting stents, and the drama of it, all of it makes you weak for a little while. Yeah.
So it took a couple more weeks or even a month and a half or two before I felt like I could do even the 12-hour day fine. But I'm fine now. And I would just say that, whatever. I knew that thing. I knew that the plaque was building up, and I should have been on medicine. And anyway, I'm going to be okay now. And I got a lot of I've a lot to think about after it happened and now. And I wanted to ask you, because you've also had a heart issue. Do you ever sometimes lay in bed and listen to your heart?
I would say in the first year after all that, any kind of little thing or skip a thing or whatever, it took me a while to let that go. But I'm really aware of my heart. Like if it's beating rapidly, I'm aware. So yeah, that.
But you weren't before?
Not in the same way. Not in the same way, but I love getting my heart rate up. I love breaking a sweat. I do everything the same. I was just very, very lucky. And what I want to tell people with Bob here is that, there are statins, there's medicines, and there's diagnostics, CT, heart scans. There's ways to be ahead of this. Thank God Bob had who he had around him at that moment. But there are ways to prevent it. It's not a death sentence. It doesn't change anything. And it's the medicine and the technology has gotten so brilliant since the 90s. So I would just encourage people to get checked out if they have a family history. Right, Bob?
Yeah, or even if they don't. Dana, I don't.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah.
I don't have a family history. And so if you're 50 and you're man or woman, 50 years old, 55, just ask your doctor for some simple tests, LDL, that stuff. Get the simple test done. It'll tell you. And these medications are very mild. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to change anything about you. So just, take the statin or whatever they recommend if you need it. And and I was very lucky. I was supremely lucky, you guys. Not only that, listen, I just learned this a few days ago. The AED device that that Rosa Estrada used to jack me up, and it took three runs. It took 3 tries.
Jeez.
She had that in her car because she was trying to return it to somebody she borrowed it from, and she'd been trying to return it for weeks, and this guy was never home. But otherwise, there wouldn't have been one anywhere near. And so only because this guy wasn't there to answer the door, that she had it in her trunk of her car and could go run and get it.
You know what's weird, Bob, is my brother Brad lives in Albuquerque. He's the guy I based Garth on. He had a massive heart attack 20 years ago. And 2 paramedics were part of the track club. And he just went lights out. Same kind of thing. 15 minutes of all that. Start the heart. He's fine today. So... And it was in Albuquerque, too. So I know 2 people in Albuquerque who freakily had heart attacks where they should have had them. You don't want to have a heart attack alone.
Terrifying.
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it, David. It's either terrifying or it's exactly where you should go to have your heart attack.
Albuquerque.
Yes. Listen, I have a history of having an attitude.
I would love to talk to you guys for 5 more hours.
Yep. I love you, Bob. Thank you for coming, man.
Thanks so much.
Bob, it's been such a pleasure.
Guys.
You're right. We could go for 5 more hours. Peace out.
All right. Miss you, buddy.
Thanks. Miss you, too. See ya.
Take care.
See you, pal.
Bye-bye.
Soon, I hope.
Hey, what's up, flies? What's up, fleas? What's up, people that listen? We want to hear from you and your dumb questions.
Questions, ask us anything. Anything you want.
You can email us at flyonthewall@cadence13.com. Steve Rusnak. Guys, if you could star in a bio about anyone, who would it be? You guys are fantastic. I guess I can't
do a bio movie.
Judy Garland. Someone already did that. Renee Zellweger. Who would I be good?
Probably
who would
the
you
life
be good
and
as?
times of David Spade.
Oh yeah, we could play each other.
Yeah,
because I don't think I could do.
I think I could play
anyone.
I actually, if I think about it, I would love to put prosthetic makeup.
Yeah, here we go.
Makeup on.
What's going to be?
And do a movie where I play Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Riveting. Everyone's waiting for it. This is the week.
I tested for the movie Amadeus. I was 3rd in line for that movie. Amadeus playing Mozart. He's like a boy child. I can play 1,000 things and you can't.
Do you know, I was in a movie called Light Sleeper. This doesn't answer the question at all, but who cares? And Paul Schrader, who did Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, unbelievable writer, was directing it. I went into audition and he goes, great audition. We're going to try to get Dana Carvey. And if we can't, we will hire you. And I said, very honest, I'll take it. And then they said, Dana doesn't want to fly to New York to do it. And I said, I will. Because you had to pay for yourself too.
And what was it?
Light Sleeper with Paul Schrader. They asked you, and you were you just got back from SNL, and you go, I don't want to fly right back. It was only a 1-day shoot, so I did it.
Well, they used to have nicknamed Kevin D. Klein, because he always said no. I think I was second in command. Here it is. It's this much money in Nova Scotia. You leave tonight.
Yeah, that's when you go now.
Because when you do stand-up and corporate stand-up or things, you're just like on call, almost like a firefighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta leave in 2 hours. It's in Berlin.
I know agents are always
like 20 for this.
Agents go, I do it. I mean, and you go, well, yeah, you sit in your fluffy office with AC, and I got to go down and get in Southwest and connect through Houston. Anyway,
I was offered a gig in Munich. Okay. Sherry O'Terry, David.
Sherry O'Terry is so hilarious.
Yes,
and I think she's one of the favorites there. She was perfect for the show, full of energy, full of characters. Wrote a lot, and that's exactly what you want for that show.
She was like, when they say brother from another mother, I don't know how you say sister from another mister. I don't know.
I think you do.
But I definitely had some crossover with Sherry O'Terry in that she, and I've talked to other comedians about this, she broke the seal on that show of what a woman could do in a sketch. Because she would commit to sexual innuendo and physicality so intensely that you couldn't not laugh. And she has this thing that she does where she looks off after.
Oh, yeah, she was like this?
Yeah, the character lands a line.
I keep
and then
it. Huh? I keep it.
Yeah. So she's as organically
So
funny as anybody.
Yeah.
And the interview was so much fun because we were just laughing the whole time. And she just kept telling these stories about her mother and her childhood. And it was just fascinating.
That was one we were laughing a lot.
Yeah. And the stuff, the fantasy world that she grew up in and what made Sherry O'Terry. And her name is very cool. You would be David Spade or something.
No, Spade is obviously a fake name, but no, Chris Rock used to go, Spade, do they ask you, they say, did you and Spade make your names up? No. I lucked out.
Chris Rock is a great name.
Chris Rock is a great name.
It's like boom,
boom, boom.
David Spade's good. Dana's I like, but Carvey's weird because there's only 5 in North America. It's one of the strangest tribes from Ireland. We were murderers and thieves and gun runners. We're nasty people.
Well, that's good news.
I've had a lot of anger underneath this facade. Underneath this pith helmet. By the way, gang, you can write them to me about where to get this hat.
By the way, the petunias are almost ready.
And I feel like I'm like Henry Fonda on Golden Pond.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking for some strawberries. And I wanted to get back here to see your sweet face. You're gonna go. That's for the over 70s.
Jeez.
Boom.
I don't know that movie. I'm so young.
You're so young and so fresh. If you were a plant, you'd be a daisy. Fresh. I'm grizzled.
Sherry O'Terry.
This is just.
She looks up to Dana a lot too. A lot of people come on here do, especially.
I get some nice compliments, but we have had a lot of incredible episodes. We love anyone who would dare come on our narcissist display.
Yeah.
But Sherry did stick out as someone who really, really made me laugh. So enjoy this one. Hi, Sherry. Aw.
Hi.
Oh, it's so nice to see you.
It's so nice to see your bed.
I know, one of my beds.
Wow, and you made it for today.
I did. I fluffed my hair up. I copped an attitude. I checked my lighting. My lighting is amazing. You look like you're in high school, which is perfect.
Oh,
you guys both look good. I have
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Spade.
Hi.
I have lighting above me, which I guess is the worst scenario.
Not flattering, David.
No, I do look good.
You look
okay, if you insist.
Scary.
Look at these.
Look at your hair.
Wow.
Oh shit! You know what I have to write down? That I have to ask Sherry about. I might as well just ask her. We're on. Sherry, you don't remember this, but you were on the show with me for a full season.
She doesn't remember that.
You might not remember that. I'll put my hat on so you don't gross out. But one time we went to Fiorello's.
And you fainted?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah. Someone came back to me, and it was your time to pay the check. And they go, your friend is in the bathroom. He's fainted.
No,
your friend.
I don't think it was a money thing.
No. It was your time to pay because what we did was we went off and on. Your time to pay, my time to pay, your time to pay, and you always had Hype Blue guys see me out when it was your time to pay. It just seemed really convenient.
I had convenient Celia.
Right.
Yeah, and then it was like, get him orange juice.
Give him a dog treat. No one knew what to do.
When the check comes, he checks out. Good night.
Yeah. Here's your orange juice and the check.
No, what happened was, Sherry, I think you lived on Upper West Side.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived on Upper West Side. And sometimes, Dana, we didn't get carted around like Meghan Markle.
We didn't have cars at the party. We built the show back. You guys came in dancing.
We built the show back.
Phil Hartman,
you built
ever heard of
ground
him?
Up.
John Lovitz, ever heard of him?
Yeah. We were, thanks to you.
Thank you.
We had a job, but we didn't get cars for sure. We didn't get cars.
No.
And it was really kind of dumb on NBC's part because we didn't know if we could get to work. And even on show day, no cars. It was like hailing cabs, and so Sherry and I would try to strug and walk. And I didn't have any protein bars back. This is the days we didn't have protein bars, folks. So you had to carry like a plum in your sock. So I didn't have anything to nib on, and we got there, and I was like, where's the goddamn food? And so we walked to Fiorello's in like Columbus Square. And then I started to like drift. Like, she's like, David. I'm like, hello, darkness, my old friend. I start to like, I think I slide down in the booth. And then I excuse myself to go black out on the bathroom floor. And she's like, this is beyond diarrhea. It's been about 25 minutes. What's happening? And then I think you sent a waiter in.
Yeah.
And he was like, I guess you're going to have to pay, Miss O'Terry. He's still faking
your friend
it.
is on the floor. And I go, can you go in and get him off the floor? I mean, I love that was his, it was like, hello, that's not normal. We didn't plan on him going on the floor. Could you see if he's all right?
Yeah.
And then you came out, I. And it's like, I need orange juice. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, I had some really funny, used to say to me, I remember you go to me, hey, Cheryl, watch this. And we would be at like a bar and you would go up to a really pretty girl and you would go like this. You would say, excuse me, don't I know you from somewhere? Wait a minute. Aren't you an actor? Wait a minute. You're really famous. You've been in movies and you're really popular. Wait a second. Oh, I'm sorry. That's me.
No, it was.
Wow, that's good
okay.
stuff.
I'd sometimes go, wait.
Let's break this down.
Are you on a big TV show?
Yeah.
or is that me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it was something like that, Sherry, but thank you for exposing my
oh my God, that
best
used
lives.
to make me laugh. And you always epitomized to me the kind of guy that you say, oh, Sherry, I can't wait for you to meet my girlfriend, this girl I'm going out with. She's so funny. And then I would meet her and she just giggles at everything you say. And I'm like,
I met a few of those.
Like, honey, that's not called a sense of humor.
I'm like, Sherry, you're funny. This one's
that's called a girl that feeds your ego by laughing at everything you say. And if her boobs shake when she laughs, she's a riot.
All right, we're about to go to a test pattern because this isn't going the right way.
David
for me
had
today.
5 years on the show by the time you met him, and so he was a kid in a candy store. He was famous for the first time, and like Mickey Rooney told me, money makes you handsomer. So that's what happened. But back to Sherry O'Terry, our guest today, superstar cast member of Saturday Night Live from 1995 to 2000. Go ahead. I play kind of the DJ.
Oh.
Wait, Dana. Before that, first of all, you're from Philadelphia?
Yeah, right outside of Philly, the suburbs. Actually, Greg, who I was talking to earlier, we were talking about Philly and all the people that came from my little town, Upper Darby, besides Todd Rundgren.
Oh, Todd Rundgren? Super fan. Yep.
Did you see that documentary on him?
Yes.
That was great.
Was it called Mayor of Easton?
No.
I hung out with him a few times at SNL and at his house in Sausalito.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to know him. My brother and Mike Myers' brother are both Todd fanatics. Like, Mike Myers' brother wrote a book about Todd. My brother was, the definitive history of Todd Rundgren. But anyway, that was a very talented neighborhood you grew up in. Todd Rundgren, you.
I'm Tina Fey. I'm so surprised, though, that all the songs he wrote. You know, sometimes you just fall upon like a documentary. You're like, all right, I'll watch this. And you're like blown away. I did not know he wrote that. I didn't know he wrote that. He was really a prolific songwriter.
Genius.
Is that why you sound like we can't understand you? Is because you're from Philadelphia? You got such a strong accent.
Yeah. What is the Philadelphia accent? I mean,
I like
never
when she goes,
really...
orange juice.
Orange juice.
No, it's, the whole thing is when I call a friend who had the recording, telephone recording. Hi, we're not home at the moment. Leave a message at the sound of the tone and we'll get back to you. It's not an attractive, it is not an attractive accent. And they leave off the G's and ING. Yeah, so I was talking. We were walking, talking. It's not an attractive accent at all.
God, it seems hard to do. There. How does it blend in with Long Island? Because it feels like, to my ear, they're very close relatives, but it's different.
I'm telling you, the suburbs, it's like a lazy vowels. They just jumble the vowels and believe that some continents are consonants.
Consonants.
consonants
Scottsdale Community College
are not needed, like
Yes.
the G's in ing.
What's your favorite
Dana has
accent
lazy
to
bowels.
do? What's your favorite accent just to inhabit, like in life or hanging out
I
with
love
friends?
doing Southern.
Southern? Which one? North Carolina or Texas or?
I don't even know where I am on the Southern accent.
Just fun. Sounds fun.
But I just absolutely love doing Southern accents.
Can you give us a little bit right now? I'll do one to start.
Well,
you guys both did Ross Perot, I think.
no,
Yes.
honey, Dana did Ross Perot,
you did
and
a
I just copied
hysterical. I copy everybody. All I
Dana.
can.
I copied you.
But you were so funny, and I believe it started a pattern of where women, and especially now on Saturday Night Live, are allowed just to play the men. And that was the first time I remembered a political figure that almost was president. Then I left, and you played him, which I thought was a very cool thing.
And then Lauren brought you back to play him again. And I'm like, did I not do well? You know? But I was just I loved doing it. They had all these prosthetics on me. And I'll never forget Janine Garofalo was at that show. And she goes, and I had all this energy and all these prosthetics. And she goes, and the bald head, she goes, you look like one of those kids with progeria.
Progeria?
Progeria. Do you know what that is?
She goes, now go get him.
I just learned about alopecia, so I'm just trying to learn all these different...
Alopecia.
That too.
Alopecia.
Right.
That's when someone in the South gets it. It's alopecia. That's what. It's different down there with that kind of thing. I'm going to stay in a Southern accent while I interview for the rest of the show. But should we keep going on SNL or just find out a little bit about how you got on SNL? It's up to you, David. You're the co-host.
Well, Sherry has a long past before SNL. I do like the Philadelphia stuff, but I didn't know if you went in with Will Ferrell. Did you have cheerleaders? Are those things down already, or did you just come up with them?
No, we
there?
came up with them at SNL, but we did both come in from the Groundlings.
The same year,
and you
95.
knew him at the Groundlings?
Yeah,
you worked
we
together?
performed together.
Okay, so was anyone else dragged with you guys on that when you got hired?
Chris Kattan and Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, shit.
We were all
So
on
that
the
was
same show at the Groundlings.
And Kattan came this exact same time as you to SNL?
Yes, but he didn't get hired the same time.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't he come a year later or something?
No, yeah, but it was at that time it was 50-50 as far as NBC and Lauren deciding
the cast
on
really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
On votes?
Seemed like Lauren always
I don't know
decided.
votes. I don't know how they did it, but they wanted to be in agreement. They had to be in agreement.
All right, Marcy, raise your hand, everyone who liked Chris Kattan. Okay, that's 1, 2,
now,
3.
Scott Sassa, how about your group?
Scott Sassa.
Scott
head of
Sassa,
NBC.
what about your group? That's pretty much what it was.
Will Ferrell, is there anything there? He asked me.
And you know what? The two sketches that I wrote that Will and I were in, he said, I'd like those on the, he had me do, I had written a sketch with, called like an 80s prom sketch. Mm-hmm. And he wanted us to do that on the first show with Marielle Hemingway. It didn't work out to write Marielle into it. So he said, just do it yourselves like the next week. And then the other thing was I had written a Kid in a Cockpit at the Groundlings and I cast Will. And the funny thing was I said to him, his name was Captain Chase. And the strangest thing was when I got SNL, I ended up doing that when Chevy Chase hosted. And I'm like, I had to change the name of the captain because it was actually his name. And I remember I said to him, this is really strange, but when I originally wrote this at the Groundlings, it was Captain Chase. And here I am all wide-eyed. It was Captain Chase, and I had to change it because you're really Chase.
Well, what was Kid in a Cockpit? What was that sketch?
Yeah.
It was just a kid that, got to go visit the cockpit, and she was a pain in the ass. And and the pilot did not win any parts.
Okay. Why is it so funny? All your characters are a pain in the ass, by the way.
They're all
none taken.
No, that's pretty funny. I like, well, this football's in my yard. I keep it now. Which one is that?
That's the Italian woman on the porch. It's every woman who polices the street in the neighborhood.
It's so fucking hysterical. I used to laugh my ass off at that. Oh, I got one before SNL. When did you work for a record company? I just want to know if record companies are they sketchy like they say, or you don't see that? Well,
I worked at A&M Records. Like, I moved to LA to get in the music business, and I worked in publishing, Almo Irving Publishing, which was owned by Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss. And to me, A&M Records was the Camelot of the music industry at that time. And it was my dream. Like, they had alternative artists before that could never get on the radio because they didn't have alternative radio stations at that time. But they signed them anyway. And so I was like, wow. And then I started working in the publishing company for a year and a half. And I remember a woman saying to me, like, all my life, people would say, oh, you're so funny, you should do stand-up. And I couldn't see myself doing stand-up. I couldn't see myself being myself in front of people. And so someone said, oh, you should do the Groundlings. I go, what? What?
What's a groundling?
I go, what's a groundling? And they go, oh, it's an improv troupe. I go, what's improv? What is this God you speak of? And I'll never forget I looked in the yellow pages and I found the groundlings, and I went down and I'm telling you, I walked in there and I saw all the pictures of people, of Phil Hartman, of John Lovitz, of Lorraine Newman, of Pee Wee, of Paul Rubens, and just all of these people. I'm like, oh my God, what do they do here? And then I started seeing shows, and I was hooked. But then I moved over to the record company. I was doing promotion, rock and pop promotion, working in there, and the whole time doing the Groundlings. And I just thought, I have the best of both worlds. I can work at the A&M Records and then be creative at the Groundlings. Never would have dreamt as big as what had happened.
You're all in the daytime. You're prepping like a meet and greet for REO's Speedwagon, and then at night.
No, I didn't. It was radio promotion, but it was the funnest job. And the funniest thing is when I got SNL, everybody's like, "So no more free CDs." And I was like, Jesus Christ, can you pretend that you like me for me?
Sherry, can I ask you a question? So when you got into the Groundlings, usually you take classes, you build up and stuff. When did you kind of go, geez, I'm really good at this? I mean, when did it turn for you? Because it was the first time?
Because it's a long process. You start out at basic, and then you're judged, after whether you can move up or whether you have to repeat or you get dropped. Then you go to intermediate. It's the same thing. Then you do that for months and months and months. Then you're judged. Do you repeat, get dropped, or move up? And then lab, and then and then advanced. And that was a 2-year process. And I thought like I'm doing well when people that I thought were good were being dropped.
Oh, and you were being advanced.
So you're kind of going, I must be good if that person's dropped and I'm not.
Well, the great thing is that I had going for me is I always thought myself the worst person in the class. And the great thing about that was I had no attitude. The only way to go is go up from there, because I didn't have any kind of acting background. And I remember meeting everybody, and they all had headshots, and they were all talking about the business. They were talking about the business.
The biz.
And I was just like, oh my God, I'm just happy to be here. Like, I really did not think I was going to be an actress, or it was going to, I just thought it was a dream to be a Groundling. And
that was your ceiling.
Yes,
for sure. Yeah, that was like me with stand-up. I never thought of it.
You didn't do anything. Sorry, David. Anything in high school or sketch?
Nope.
No. You just came out of the blue. Groundlings, my God! And then that's your training.
And completely. I did take some classes outside of the Groundlings once I was in the Groundlings, just to get a taste of other forms of classes and cold reading classes, stuff like that. Yeah. But I took to it like I'd never taken to anything in my life. it was like the clouds parted and I found my place.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I was like Tracy Flick. I was there early. I left late. I had my hand up. I was in awe of everything. I was never so excited about, like, I couldn't sleep at night after class because either I did well and I was so excited, or I did bad and I couldn't forgive myself, but you only learn when you don't do well anyway. So it's kind of like, remember, you're in class. And I remember I had to repeat intermediate, and it was the best thing that ever happened. And then I remember my best friend at the time worked in the box office, Mike Sweeney, and his sister was Julia Sweeney. And I found out that she had to repeat intermediate. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. We're both repeating intermediate.
And how did your style evolve before you got on SNL? And they're like, when did you first know you could throw your voice with an accent and an impression? Were you doing those with friends, or?
I never did impressions, but I copied, like as a kid, I would watch television and then I would copy everything I saw.
Sure.
And
I would
who
go up
was
the
your
street.
muse? Was it Carol Burnett? Was it?
Yeah, but no, I copied soap opera people.
Oh, okay.
Because I was very, very intrigued by the civility. It was such a contrast from how I was growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Where the TV was on 24/7 and, you had your mother screaming, "I wish I was dead" all the time. Happy
Wait a
times.
minute. Is that real?
No. Yeah. But
or rough and tumble. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very chaotic and just so unhinged. And I just love soap operas because of the civility of everybody.
They're so dignified and
so dignified, and I used to imitate them all the time.
Hilarious.
Like, I would actually set up on our radiator a makeshift bar, because back then in like the 70s, in the soap operas, they would come in and go straight to the bar. There was never a TV on in the soap operas, right?
Yeah.
And so I would make up a makeshift bar and have Kool-Aid in a vase that you could see through. That was my carafe. And then I would have ice and tongs to put. And then when my mother would walk in, I would stand the way the camera shots, how in soap operas,
sort of open out.
The camera comes in and then the person is talking to them from the back of them.
Like a rack focus. Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So my mother would come in and I go, "Oh, Mother, you startled me. I didn't hear you come in."
Mother, you startled me.
Yeah. And she would go like this: "Who the fuck left the door open with the air conditioner on?" And I would go like this in my mind: "Cut."
God, so your survival mechanism was to almost live inside a soap opera with actual.
Funny.
I lived inside, and no one knew what I was doing. It was really
crazy
just
kid.
myself. And then I would watch like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
I'd go upstairs, put my hair in plaits, in braids, and then get on my prairie pajamas, and I would come down, and my mom would be in the kitchen. I go, "Ma, when's Pa coming?" And she goes, "What?" I go, "When's Pa coming home?" And she goes, "I don't know, but you better have fucking money." Cut!
So
it was like, because my dad didn't live with us. So it was like, whatever, and in my mind, I was constantly, cut!
Because it wasn't going the way you wanted. It wasn't going like a TV show.
You can't curse on TV.
Yeah.
And and then I remember I would watch like, the 10 Commandments was just on the other night.
Oh, the movie, the original,
because it's Easter. Easter is coming.
Easter
so they, and I used to live for the 10 Commandments. And I would be watching it, and I'd go in the other room. My mom and her friend are smoking cigarettes and talking, and I would get a ladle and I would fill it with water and give it to my mom and say, "Mom, can you hand this to me?" And she's like, What do you want, Sherry? And I go, "Could just hand it to me." And then my mom's friend would say, "Honey, I'll hand it to you." And I go, no. And my mom would go, I'll hand it to you. Just give it to me. So she would take it, and then she would hand it to me, and I would drink it down really fast. And I go, "You are kind. I will dwell in this land." And she goes, "Dwell in the other room."
Have you done a one-woman show about this relationship?
It's so good.
And then my friend, I would say to my mom's friend, "You are strong. You stood up to the Malachite."
And so you were
Do you
kind of
remember that from?
Well, I just know the cadence. I actually read the Bible after I saw it when I was like 8 or something. I started reading the Bible after I saw it.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. I was just like, maybe this is true, man. This looks pretty real. I was like, I was like 7. It was like a documentary to me.
Oh, I'm going to get to the bottom of this religions thing, and I'm going to open the book.
He's like, is the Bible a real thing? Yeah. And then he goes, oh, there is one at the library. Let me delve into this a little bit.
Dana, that's adorable.
And years later, just a flash, which I want to ask you too. I'm with Charlton Heston on SNL, and Lawrence wants to get him to do Church Lady with Moses, and he didn't want to do it. We're kind of pressure. I didn't want to pressure him, but he goes, "Just isn't."
Oh my God, that would have been awesome.
It's so surreal, those kind of things. But back to this, I just want to couch this for a second. So, your mother's, you probably love her. She's very aggressive. There's a lot of tension in the house. You escape into these shows and use 3-dimensional props to kind of become a part of these calming shows. The 10 Commandments. Yeah. Did you have a crush on Michael Landon? I was going to ask, because wasn't he sort of a teen idol in a way for a while?
Yeah.
No.
Well.
Little House on the Prairie.
No, I mean, did I?
I like the blind girl.
I thought he was. David's like, what I could have done with that chick.
She couldn't see that I'm not that cute. I would just tell her I was.
Not with that lighting.
Not with this lighting.
Not with
that lighting.
You
is so
can't
bad.
see him, listeners, but David's got gothic kind of lighting on him.
My hair looks cool, and no one believes me, and I don't care. I'm going to the
We
wall
have great
with this.
hats. I got to get
you
a cool
have a hat on.
Well, because I
on.
was throwing you guys off because there was so much shade on my face and lighting. It looked crazy.
So, Sherry, this is so interesting. I'm just so, when I think about you as a performer, just the word that comes in is committed.
Not as a woman?
Well, as a woman, that's a whole other, that'll be our second hour. We'll delve into your sexuality and everything, No, you're very attractive.
I don't do questions myself.
Sumi and we adore you. But were you as committed? I mean, you're so committed. You're watching these shows, little kid, you got props and you're talking like biblical characters to your mom. What the fuck are you doing? I so love you, mother. How did this inform you as a performer? I mean, obviously you developed an ear and you were theatrical, but you'd never done anything official till you go into Groundlings. And then how many years into that were you in the main company and ready for SNL? How long did it take you?
I did 2 years of classes and then 2 years in the Sunday company, writing and performing every Sunday. And then I got into the main company. I was in the main company for 1.5 years. And I would say that SNL was my first job.
Wow.
And you were prepped enough, right? Because you were doing pretty much exactly SNL, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I just kept the same kind of writing and just, just kept, I learned the difference between theater and television. I remember writing something in the Groundlings that did really well, but it died. And I remember Colin Quinn saying, Cher, I don't know if this is going to come off the way it did in theater, because when you talk out in theater on a stage, the audience can imagine the fourth wall. If you do it on television, you just look crazy if you're talking out. You know what I'm saying? And gotcha. I did not know the difference between that. And I remember it was Kevin Spacey, and I had done this character where she has a party every year, the same party, and only 2 people show up, but she acts like there's a lot of people there. She says all the things that you say when it's a really packed party. You know what I mean?
Right.
Did you find parking? Excuse me, I just got a request. The keg is beat. We're a young party. The keg is beat. I'm going to pass a hat around, and all these things. So and stupid. I did it with Kevin Spacey, and it just died because of what he said. Because a lot of it was me talking out to people that weren't there, and it's kind of confusing. But and then I remember Lauren always saying, Sherry, do you know where your camera is? And I thought it was a trick question. I go, yeah, no, you don't. And he goes, the people at home would like to see you too. And I didn't even know what he meant. And after that, it was like, okay, oh, that one's my camera with the red light. Like I would just play to the audience. I never played to a camera. I didn't know to play to a camera.
Right.
Interesting.
And sometimes you knew it, so you might go off the cards because you were sort of just performing something you already knew.
Right. I'm performing the way I did at the Groundlings, like as if it was a stage. And I remember Chris Farley saying to me, you know what, Sherry, he said something to the effect of, I just pretend like I'm back at Second City and I don't even think of the cameras. And I was just like, yeah, you could do that, but I get in trouble for it.
Yeah,
Thanks
I was about to say, he gave you the opposite advice.
Yeah, opposite, man.
You made it work for you. I get in trouble.
Yeah. But you to me were kind of Carvey-esque because your characters were very committed. They were a lot of energy.
I know.
And you were
flattered.
And you'd come up with these new characters. You know, we only did a year, but after I'd left and I'd watch and I go, God damn, she just keeps coming up with shit and it's so hilarious. And they were really clicking. And what did you do? 5 years?
Yeah.
And did you walked away or did you want to stay or what did you do?
Oh, I left.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Had enough of it or what was it?
Well, it just, you really have to have a thick skin. And as much as I love the work and could do the work, I did not have a thick enough skin at that time. But I wanted to say something. I remember my first year, I was well into it, I think. And I got a phone call and they go, Sherry, Dennis Miller's on the phone. And I had never had anybody famous call me or anything like that. And I was like, people famous don't just call other people, And then the funny thing was he had no idea of this, but his Off-White album, when I was in Philadelphia, I had it memorized. It was the funniest album. And not that I listened to albums. I heard it by accident from someone else. And I remember I was working at like a college bar downtown and we had live music and before the sound check, they were playing his album. I was crying. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Crying.
Brilliant.
To where I turned all my friends onto it and we just constantly would quote it. And then here he's calling me and I'm like, I pick up the phone and he goes, like, he has no idea that I know that album by heart. Yeah. And it always sounds like such bullshit when you say, oh, I'm such a fan.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then he goes, this is what he said to me, Sherry, I just want to say, you got commitment like Carvey.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you, I was so flattered because Dana, like I always related to you and the characters that you did, like, and your ability and your commitment. And I'm just like, God damn, like he's so freaking good and funny. And even when you did an impression, I didn't like any impressions that were so dead on that you were like, after 5 minutes, you're bored of it. You would do a take of somebody. And that was way more entertaining than somebody, to me, nailing it. You would do a funny take, a twist on the character that made it so much fun to watch over and over and over again. And then when Dennis said, you've got commitment like Carvey, I tell you, I know I cried. Because first of all, and then I started saying to him, you don't know the Off-White album. And then I started quoting it. And, I think he was like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. Wait a minute, what? And I was quoting it.
That's exactly how, people ask me, what do you say to a celebrity? And I said, find something very specific to say to them. Besides, I'm such a fan.
And that, Dana, is what I learned about doing when Lorne, the best thing that he ever did was make me do Barbara Walters, because I remember I kept saying, no, I don't do impressions. And then when I knew I didn't have a choice, I started listening and watching her over and over again. And not just her cadence and the way she spoke, but she had a style. And what she would always do is when she would interview people, she would give them 3 specific compliments. Specific. Because when you're specific, a person feels heard. It's not just, you're so talented.
Yeah.
It is when you did this, when you did that. And then all of a sudden that person opens up, they feel safe, they feel respected and seen. And then she can go into, now why the porn?
So,
but she just knew how to make somebody lay on their back and expose their stomachs so that she could go in and kick him in the nuts.
Yeah, always looking for that angle and to get them to cry. Yeah. That was
it's like a dog. Let me pet your belly. Oh, look at that belly. Look at that belly. Gay!
In the nuts. Nut shot.
Nut shot.
How were you, just for a second, about, having a thick skin? And by the way, everything you said about me is greatly appreciated. That's so sweet. And I want to go down a list of your characters, which are brilliant and intense. But how were you? Because we talked to other cast members, and they really had to battle their nerves when they first came in. Just panic attacks, drenched in sweat. How were you that first season in terms of fighting that fear?
No. The first season I thought was great because we all came in at the same time. I mean, you remember NBC did a clean sweep, and it was just David that they kept and Norm and. They did a clean sweep, and I think Steve Korn was a writer that they kept.
Yeah.
But so everybody came in at the same time, and there was this appreciation and energy, and we just all hit the ground running. There wasn't anybody that was sitting around intimidating, and wonder if you're going to take their spot or anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was just like we all came in appreciative. And so my first year was not difficult. I just kept doing what I did at the Groundlings.
And Sherry, wasn't it kind of like you were all at the starting blocks together instead of, like I came in and Mike Myers is already way ahead of me. Dana's way up there. So you're really just trying to.
We were starting first grade at the same time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that does create a different vibe. I had that with Phil and Jan and Kevin.
It was a beautiful vibe. It was like we were wide-eyed and so appreciative and all nervous. We didn't know to be scared. We were nervous. We learned later to be scared.
So when
what was your first? What was the first one that clicked? First show?
The cheerleaders with Will?
No, no. It was. You're not. I don't know if you're going to remember this, but it was. I remember saying to Molly, I go, "You remind me of a young Ann Miller." And then I said,
"Oh yeah, I remember this sketch. I remember her doing Ann Miller."
And then she's like, I go, and cable had just started coming out. People doing cable shows, and I'm like, it wouldn't be funny if we had these two older, women who now have a cable show, but they still had that same mentality of when they were in, And
you were Debbie Reynolds, maybe, right?
I was Debbie Reynolds. It was called Leg Up, and it was on the very first show. And it did. I remember Lorne calling me into his office and go, "Sherry, what demographic are you going for?" And I'm just like,
Sherry, we're trying to get younger viewers.
Yeah, and I go, I didn't think about that. Like, I never thought about.
You think of the funny first.
Yeah, and I go, funny. I have a feeling that even if they don't know who they are, they still might like it.
No.
1,000%. It's just clueless people going for it and being self-happy.
And then we were on the cover of like Washington Post or something like that.
Oh, really? As those two characters.
Okay. And then I really thought, I remember Daryl Hammond saying the gay community at Hell's Kitchen loved you guys. Like they were loving, I think, like our whatever we thought was funny. I think it was connecting with the gay community. Mm-hmm. And they are a tough audience and they're an appreciative audience. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They had a struggle. And, it's kind of like they got a sense of humor. They have a sense of humor because of their struggle. And it's like whenever, I love it when gay guys would come up to me and they always say the same thing. They never say the cheerleader or anything. They always say the prescription drug lady.
Oh, that was hysterical.
Oh, yeah. That was intense, that character.
Yeah. And you have people in your family that you do a take of. It's not exact. And I had an Irish nana that was taking prescription drugs like all day, every day. And back then, they were in a bejeweled box. You know, you didn't hide your pills.
Yeah.
You presented them. It was like a Fabergé egg. And I would say, Nana, could I hold your pill box? Because it was so bejeweled and beautiful. All right, be careful. And then we would play a game of what each pill did. And I go, this is for sleep. This is for pep. Speed was just pep. This is for, and
underselling it a bit, but yeah.
Yeah. And then I would go, and this is what I could never think of what it was. And she goes, water weight. And I'm water weight. And she goes, and the doctor says, that's all this is. That's all this is. And then back in the 70s, when someone got high at your house, your only job was to walk them to the car. And I remember my mom saying, and she would have beer. She'd be drinking beer while she was,
pills.
Yeah. And then she would go, my Nana would say, I'm leaving. No one's paying attention to me. So I would go upstairs and I go, Mommy, Nana's leaving. She said, no one's paying attention to her. She goes, all right. We'll walk her to the car. And I go, Mommy, she goes, what? I go, should Nana be driving? And she goes, don't be fresh. Just go walk her to the car. Whenever you said as a kid, anything that made sense.
That made sense.
That made your parents responsible for their actions. Don't be fresh. And I'm like,
watch your mouth.
I didn't think I was being disrespectful. And I would she'd be hanging on me as if I was a walker. And I'd put her in the car. And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't know why this feels so wrong.
Let's get those hands on the wheel. And you put her hands on the wheel. Let's start your car.
And she already came with it half on the curb, half off. She was already high when she got there. And so I just thought to myself, I remember my mom getting a phone call one day. What do you mean she wrapped it around a tree? That's impossible. My 7-year-old walked her.
Is this real? Or was this on Saturday Night Live? This is so fucking funny.
The Sherry's deadpan delivery of these is the funniest part of the whole thing.
No, but I think like all those things stuck in my head.
Of course.
Because you think, why am I thinking this? Why am I not just going along with everything looks normal?
Because when people are drunk or screwed up when I grew up, I didn't know what it was, so you just think they're being weird or goofy or funny.
But it was crazy Uncle so-and-so.
Yeah.
When people were drunk or alcoholics when we were kids, they were just called crazy whoever. Oh, crazy Uncle Joe's coming over. Oh, good.
Crazy Uncle Quaaludes is coming
When
over.
you'd come out of your room at night and you would see that them and their friends had formed a dance rumba train. And they're just utterly smashed. Dun, 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 dun.
It looked just like fun.
That's when they were gone.
And that's when every older woman peed when she laughed.
Because the dance rumba train?
No, I remember my Nana, she peed when she laughed. And it was like, great. Like, I just thought to myself.
So she's wets herself. She's stumbling and slurry. And you're just guiding her to a 2,000-pound automobile full of gasoline.
Yeah, but it was all water weight, Dana.
It was all water weight.
So hysterical. Water weight is
that's
hilarious.
So funny. So
I think my mom took those pills, water weight pills.
Now it seems like you had to find comedy after hearing these stories and your childhood. It's just like it seems like destiny that you would be a comedian.
I was by myself a lot. I really didn't know how to make friends. And so I became my own, I would just create. Mm-hmm. And I was just using my imagination to kind of, fill up what wasn't there.
That's kind of like what Robin Williams says he used to do. It was just in the attic with toys, playing and stuff. As an only child, you had siblings.
I did that. My mom was at work all day. My dad was not around, but I remember a lot of kids have that imagination where you're just making up things and doing things and just trying to kill time, and it's fun. It's kind of fun. It's not really sad. It's fun.
It's not sad. I mean, I knew I was really lonely as a kid, and spent a lot of time alone, and I just made the best of it. It's kind of like I would wake up, it's the Sherry O'Teary show. No, it was sad. I'm going to counter that. It was sad.
Well, we didn't know we were sad, and we didn't know we were anxious. We didn't have a name for it, like depression or anxiety.
Yeah.
Right. I would make myself laugh. I would make myself cry. And it was just kind of like I really had my own network. I wonder if I'm going to play a drama or a comedy today.
You know what I like is that, first of all, in in your Google, or if you look at anything about you in Wikipedia, it says Sherry often plays characters who are upbeat, perky, or hyper. I'm like, that's fair. But I think when you say, let's say you're a kid and you're doing these like just flat soap opera character, they're very real. Just very present and quiet and subdued. That's interesting. You do that. And then you can also play characters where it's exaggerated and funny. Like, and you also say you play characters like it's always kind of based on someone you know. And then you just, like my brother, I used to do something and he goes, everyone makes fun of me because you said I was like that. I go, all I need is 2% of an idea. And then I just make it, I just go as far as I can with it to make it funny.
And any character that someone would find offensive, the great thing is, that the person never knows it's them.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because it's so, and it gets so beyond
figure
them
it out. Yeah,
that it's so ridiculous to make it funny, like you said.
It's kind of like the Italian woman on the porch. I kind of got like a little bit of my grandmom from when I was a kid, but she was always the nice one on the porch. Like she was very, very nice. And then I did my Nana very nice, but she wasn't very nice.
Oh, right.
It's kind of like
well, you pick and choose and do like a research paper of a few people and make the funniest parts of each one.
Exactly, and the kind of the parts that the audience I think will take to. You know what I mean? You don't want to turn anybody off or depress anybody. And I always think to myself, I think I did characters that never knew how bad off they had it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
There's optimism because. It's like they have no idea, like, that they were rejected.
They're kind of tragic or something.
Like Adele, which I watched this morning, the sex office flirt or the sex worker flirtation woman was kind of fits that.
Yeah, right? She does not sense even a modicum of rejection.
It was pretty wild. I mean, you just wonder sometimes, could that be done today? That character, just for the just because it was intense. I mean,
but it's so ridiculous that I think, and it being a woman makes it, I think, a little easier for the audience to digest. Because when I remember, I said it to Chris Parnell for like 2 years. I go, Chris, you should do this character because Chris was so sweet but boy did he do innuendo. Like I'd be like, Chris, can you hand me a pencil? Oh, I'll hand you a pencil. And I'm like, geez, Chris, like you can find sex anywhere, like in anything. And it just made me always think of that because he was a very serious, nice, wonderful, and yet he had that side of him that wasn't even offensive or salacious. It was just, you just noticed it and you just kind of like pretended, okay, that caught me off guard. And then I thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny if then, because when the person doesn't react to innuendo or a sexual thing, then you explain it to them as if that's why they didn't react to it. Right. I didn't react to it because I wanted you to stop. I didn't want to encourage it. But I love the fact that, oh, okay, you didn't understand. Let me explain it to you. I'd like to wrap my hands around your penis.
Yeah. This pencil is like a penis.
Yes.
And it was forward thinking because
Sherry,
it was a
you
woman.
did Dana. Yeah, I used to be on a show called Just Shoot Me while you were out, doing whatever you were doing. Having fun.
I did a guest spot on that.
That's right.
But I didn't get an Emmy nomination like someone I know. Oh, boy.
We have 2 Just Shoot Me scores. I mean, talk about coming and score. Sherry and Dana. And Dana, you should have. And Sherry, you did.
Sherry was better.
But tell everybody, you were an assistant to, was it Maya?
Yes. And, she was awful, but, I got to tell you that experience to me, when I did that show, I just thought to myself, oh my God, this is a cakewalk. Mm-hmm. Like, I just thought that was the first sitcom I did. And I was just like, my God, no matter what, you're going to be written for. Yeah.
That's what I thought when I got there.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, you're not going to get cut. At the end of the week, no matter what, you come in at 10 and you leave at 3. What in the world?
I know.
Like, this is heaven. And then it's like, Miss O'Teary, what would you like in your omelet? Get the fuck away from me. Like, I'm like, what's your angle?
What's your play here? What do you want? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Sherry, that was when I got there, and I just come from the hardest place like you did. And then everyone's pulling for you and going, do you have enough jokes today? And I'm like, are you writing for me? And then they go, if you want to add jokes. So they're giving me jokes and then saying, add some if you want. And it was a very nice feel. Not that Saturday Night Live was. Saturday Night Live is what it is. But then you go, oh, I just got through boot camp and this is easier.
Like you just can't believe that you're being written for.
Yeah.
You can't believe it. Like, it was too, when I got hired, when Lauren said, we'd want you to continue writing, I felt so flattered. I was like so honored and flattered, and what I didn't realize was like, oh, no, honey, you have to write if you want to be on the show.
Yeah. Were you a writer performer? Or I was a feature player writer. What were you when you came on?
Writer performer.
And you had a writer's credit as well?
No, I didn't get paid.
I didn't get a credit. Yeah.
Dana didn't either.
I'm not bitter.
Oh, and honey, doing my best of DVD where I don't make a cent off of it,
wow.
and
you wrote every sketch?
Yeah, but I did get to, I'm sure there was other sketches written by other people, but it's predominantly stuff that I wrote. And I just thought to myself, wow, I wanted to be a part of it, but you don't. Someone's like, oh, I'm going to buy a few of your CDs. I go, oh, no, just buy one. I don't make any money off of it. You sign that away when you get the job.
Sure. I was a writer, didn't make a lot, but it pays dividends later down the line. Plus, you're known as a writer. I thought that was a very proud moment to be a writer-performer, but I didn't really want to write. I knew I'm going to write for myself no matter what, like Dana, like you. It was nice. I got a little extra. I didn't get much to be on, so...
Right. And I was not cast very much at all either. Yeah. I was not cast. I wasn't cast in the Groundlings. I wasn't cast in SNL. And, and that trouble for me being cast follows me. And so that's why it's like, wait a minute, why am I treating life outside the Groundlings and SNL any different than it was within? I have to write for myself. Yeah. For whatever reason, I'm not really, cast, maybe because I did a lot of characters. I don't know.
Well, you did something in Grown Ups too, and then we were just talking this morning how it was. You had a barrette in your hair. You had a crush on Sandler's character. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
From high school, and then you'd show up, and you were obsessed with him, kind of still.
Yeah.
And that was like something that might have been a little flatter with someone else, but you brought a lot to it and probably added to it. And just the way you performed it, it jumps out.
Thank you. Well, I will say it was already on the page. And
maybe because they knew it was you, it's easier to,
No, honey, I auditioned for that 3 times.
Oh, you did?
They didn't know it was me. Listen to me, so jaded. They didn't know it was me.
They didn't know. That's crazy.
Well, and you, that was Dana. Part of the funny part was I think she had a barrette in her hair. She ran into Sandler at the store. Was he with his wife?
No. But I was with my husband, Steve Buscemi.
And she's kind of hitting on Adam because reliving that they used to date. And
as if, and there I am being another character that has no sense of rejection.
Yeah. And he gave you a barrette or something when you were little, and you still have it and you wear it every day.
Yes, and I still wear it.
Yeah. And he doesn't remember. It was great. Anyway, I love that. I like Just Shoot Me. I have one other question. Now, listen, when you met Lauren the first time, did you have to wait when you go in that office?
Yeah, I believe no matter if you're 5 hours early, you're going to have to wait whenever an appointment is made. Because I remember Marcy saying, Sherry, I think you should take a meeting with Lauren. And I go, okay, well, why? And she goes, you'd have to get to know him better. So you got to know each other. And I go, God, that sounds, but you're intimidated, and and if you don't know what to say, you don't want to waste his time. And so I would go, okay. So I would go to Lyle. Hey, Lyle, I'm going to make an appointment with Lauren. Okay.
He's like, why?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And I go, but I didn't. I'm like, wait a minute. He's here every night. And I go, okay, all right, 2 weeks it is. And then 2 weeks goes by, and now I'm getting a little more scared. You know what I mean?
Because it's building up. You could have just walked in the room and gone, "Hey, Lauren, how's it going?"
Right. But it wasn't presented to me like that. And I was nervous and intimidated. And then it's time for our meeting. And I wait for 2 hours outside his office. And then I'm a wreck. Yeah. I'm like, 2 weeks. Now I'm waiting 2 hours. This wasn't even a meeting that it was my idea.
By the way, he probably doesn't even know what the meeting's about either.
No. And then finally, when I get in there, I'm like, I just didn't understand. I thought maybe he wanted to meet with me, but he didn't. And I didn't. So there was a lot of dead air. And then he goes, Sherry, are the writers writing for you? I go, yeah, not too much. Well, Gilda used to bake cookies, if that helps. And I'm like, it doesn't. But maybe I could give blowjobs. I'm not a baker.
You said that to him?
No, that was just me in my head. I wish I would have had that sense of humor. Funny. I was too scared to have a sense of humor.
Something like a macadamia nut would be, Al Franken would eat the whole plate. Sorry, go ahead.
But I was just, when I left, and I'm just thinking to myself, I feel like I just got kicked in the butt by Marcy. Like, he never wanted to meet with me.
Maybe she was trying to help you by going, if you guys talked, but it turned into a whole thing and it turned into a whole disaster.
Yeah, 2 weeks later, 2 hours later, and I'm like walking in with my legs shaking. I was like, my knees were knocking and I had nothing prepared.
You walked out going, Lauren wants me to learn decoupage.
I remember when it was Christmas and I thought, what do you get Lauren? And I remember getting him, I would really, really think about what I would get him. And then one time I got him a how to juggle kit because it cracked me up. It made me laugh. And so after I would always go, Lauren, how's the juggling going? Is it getting easier or are you getting the hang of it? As if he ever opened the box, and it would just make me laugh. And it made him laugh, I think.
No, I think that's very funny. The trick is starting with one ball and just going up and down for a while.
You know what I do? I lose them and then I use tennis balls and then it just gets all...
Sherry, maybe next Christmas a fire eating kit would be nice.
Maybe a magic set.
I did get him one of those old-fashioned candy machines, that with the red, you put a quarter in.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all full of jelly bellies. I bought it, and then I just filled it with jelly bellies because I know he liked those, But I was always trying to think of something that, what do you get somebody who leaves you waiting 2 hours and 2 weeks?
This is wonderful. Marcy, can you put it in your trunk?
That's what I need. You could have got it for David because of the hypoglycemic thing.
I need juice. I need juice. I was falling down right and left. It was. We found it later. It was stress related. Anyway,
really?
Sherry, I don't know. They couldn't trace it back to anything. Any shows you're working on? I'm like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. All right. Well, anything left for Sherry? She's been hilariously
My question
wonderful.
is just, how did you feel on the show when you had the morning latte talk show with Will? You had cheerleaders. There was a period in your 5 years where you were like, everyone was talking about you. I'll just say, Sherry O'Terry, have you seen her? She's, so funny. So did you get a little more relaxed during that time, or did people start to write for you a little more? Because you had a lot of hits.
Never.
No.
I mean, once in a while I got lucky, like with The View. I didn't write The View. Mm-hmm. But and I was always, hey, do you want to know something funny? I just got asked, and this is something I did not write. I was asked to do, and I was so scared to do it. I don't know. I think Tina wrote it or something, but they're doing a documentary on Robin Bird.
Oh, wow.
The late night porn talk show host in New York.
Yes.
Public access. Yeah.
I just remember thinking to myself, I'm watching, you see a talk show, you see this, and, a rerun of a Urkel or whatever, the news. And then that channel would pop up. And I'm like, is this allowed? Like, this was wild to me.
Right, that was New York TV or something, because I was shocked.
At midnight or 1, 2 in the morning or something. Yeah.
And I just remember thinking to myself, this is wild. And they asked me to do it. And I'm like, I'm not wearing a crocheted bikini. That's not going to happen. So I cheated and wore bike shorts with a crocheted top with the boobs already in it. And so I was just asked, they're doing a documentary, and I was like, yes, I'd love to, because I did meet her. And
wow.
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But I would say, that's something I didn't write. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And Morning Latte, one summer I just watched every morning show, and I wanted to do a talk show so bad, but I didn't know what the hook would be. And that was my favorite sketch to do, was Morning Latte. Not that it was like, the biggest hit or anything, but because I loved playing these ill-informed, confident characters. Like so ill-informed, yet it doesn't throw them off at all.
Cocky idiots. Yeah. Cocky idiots is always a great area to be.
But I don't even think they were cocky. There was an innocence about them. And, Will and I had that same kind of sense of humor, and it's that optimism, under, just completely ridiculous circumstances of being ill-informed or rejected.
Yeah, you both play that perfectly.
Wow. Is your TV on, Sherry?
I'm sorry. Can I go turn it off right now?
God damn it.
Well, we can. Sorry.
So let's go back 15 minutes. So when you first got to the ground lanes, we'll just redo that. No, I'm kidding. It was fine. It's fine. They got magic. They can take anything out. Sherry O'Terry, you're so funny.
Let me tell you something about Sherry O'Terry. Everybody loves her. She's the peak of Saturday Night Live. The characters were crazy.
You know what? I want to say one thing that hit me like a ton of bricks. And I guess it was just right before the pandemic. I'm watching Anderson Cooper and that, New Year's Eve show. And then you come out as Barbara Walters and literally dismantle the podium. I mean, it was so fucking funny. Did you write that? Or it was just went on and on and on? God, it was funny.
I did write it because I had gotten so used to, and what I love about, the age range of us and Anderson Cooper and is there, and Andy Cohen, there's a nostalgia that they just love. Mm-hmm. And what I loved about doing Barbara Walters was there's nostalgia just within her for decades and decades, yet she's got to talk about what's currently going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I did that 2 years in a row, and it was fun because I really had to think of, okay, what is the recap of what happened this past year? What might she talk about? But then she always has to drop in who she thinks is impressive. Right. I was on with, and I always love saying, Grill Master George Foreman,
Grill Master,
Madeline Albright, and then who she thinks, and then I just love doing, bombshell Lonnie Green and funny man Shecky Green. And we were all, because you always just think about, who she hangs out with. And she always name drops political, sports, and pop culture and actors. And then, but then when they asked me to do it this past time, I go, I can't do Barbara Walters again. I got to be myself. But that was so scary. So what I did was... Yeah,
they introduced you and you were a hologram, or what was it? I mean, you did something.
No. I was live this last year. I wrote something to be pre-taped because I didn't think they were going to...
Okay.
I didn't want to fly. And in New York, it was the worst part of the pandemic, I would say. Mm-hmm. But so I had these crocheted... I don't know if you guys remember this in the 70s. They were like crocheted dolls that you put over toilet paper rolls, spare toilet paper rolls. Yeah. So my friend's mother made a shitload of them in the 70s, and they were all pretty, and she gave me some. And I'm just thinking to myself, as if I'm going to, put these out. And I just thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny, like if I'm trying to bring back the crochet toilet paper cozy, and each one of them has a story, and each story was something that happened this past year. You know what I mean? Like I had canceled Carmen, I had Christmas Karen, I had Insurrection Irene, and Baroness Becky, covering the whole royal thing of the past year. And it was so much fun to do, but I did it as a pre-tape because I had all these props. And I'm like, that podium up there is like 8 feet by 4 feet.
Well, you can also control a little better, and you can do a few takes. You can nail it perfectly or whatever.
Yeah, but we didn't get to rehearse it. I rehearsed it once.
Oh, you did it. Wait, you did it live, but you were home.
No. I prepared. I thought I was going to be able to pre-tape it, and then they said to me, like 2 weeks before I had already written it, Sherry, the boys want you there live. And I go, I can't do this live. It's props and this and that. No, they want you live. I can't do it live. And I go, I've got an actual toilet tank in this. And, and then they go, we'll provide you with a toilet tank. I'm like, shit. So they did. I had a toilet tank on that thing. It was, but it was fun. It was fun. It's really nice of those guys to kind of like give me that platform to be creative, because, you do miss that about SNL. It's like your mind can go anywhere you dream of. I don't mean to sound like a kid in Disneyland, but it's like, I never limited myself to what my mind would think, It
was shocking to go, I thought of this stupid sketch Tuesday. I'm sitting with the art department on Thursday, and they're designing this dumb thing I thought of, and they're like so serious, going, we'll make it perfectly like this. We'll bring this in. We can get it from New Jersey. I'm like, for this stupid, okay. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Really? I remember going down to approve my actual house. The Italian lady on the porch, and it was the exterior of a full house, and I was so in awe and overwhelmed that what I thought of has been built.
And Keith, there's someone who's like, hey, is this your vision? Is this is kind of what we thought from reading it? And you're like, no, and they'll tweak anything for you.
They were amazing. I mean, we had the most talented people behind the scenes. And even like when we would do the wigs were always so funny. When Molly and I did Leg Up, I'll never forget, we had this joke because our wigs got bigger each time we did it. And then we did it to a point where we were crying. We were laughing so hard. Our wigs were so huge, and it was appropriate too for those characters, but not that huge. Each time they got bigger and bigger and bigger until Lauren said, the wigs are co-starring.
Very Lauren.
Exactly.
The wigs are co-starring. It's just that thing of like, we really want to see the character, not just hair on top.
Jerry's 5'8" with her wig. Could we please?
Marcy, is it the wig sketch now? All right. Thank you, Sherry, and thank you, Dana.
Sherry, you're the greatest.
Sherry is a score machine.
Really
score
got
machine.
To understand you. We never got to have dinner together or hang out, but you're so observant about your characters, and that's what makes you a great writer. And you tease everything out. So yeah, we're like, sister, brother from another mother. So just appreciate you, girl.
All right, I love you guys.
Bye, Sherry.
Love you guys. love you, David.
Miss you, Dana. Hey, what's up, flies? What's up, fleas? What's up, people that listen? We want to hear from you and your dumb questions.
Questions, ask us anything you want.
You can email us at flyonthewall@cadence13.com. Now, one more question. And then Dana gets to eat one of his 4 protein bars I brought for him.
I feel sick. These are just candy bars
dressed
up as health bars. This is not something you should eat too much of. We're going to talk later. We're going to talk later.
May cause diarrhea in an hour, but for sure will in 2 hours. Okay.
I would like you to write down what you eat in a given week, and let's get that GI problem you have. You have a lower GI problem. I can tell by looking at you.
Why?
And you need a liquid IV. Well, look at your posture. You're all pent up in there. You've got a little pooch. Come on, let's talk later.
What are we talking about?
Look, I'm a health nut.
Why do
I want to help you.
I don't look bad, do I? Jesus Christ. Heather.
I'm joking. I'm a comedian.
Heather, get the elevator ready.
Don't put me in the elevator. Not like last week. Don't put me in the elevator.
The elevator's about 120 degrees.
I don't want to be in any elevator. This is Henry Fonda.
We have
now
one more
I'm
question.
doing it better.
I like it.
Fuck.
It's too late.
That's
You
the
did it
story
once.
of my life.
Okay, we have a question from Charlotte Morris. Hi, boys.
Charlotte Morris. Hello. Why, you're a dessert for the eyes. You're a tall drink of water. I'm Charlotte Morris, and I have a question for you boys. Go ahead, David.
She says, hi, boys. If you had to swap places with each other and star in one of the other's movies, which would you pick? Charlotte from England.
From England.
You can hear this dog shit in England? That's
People
awesome.
God, I wouldn't have worn this goofy hat if I knew we were over in Europe. If you'd like to do a character in the movie of David, what would it be?
Is that hat all the rage?
Why do you wear costumes? You look silly. You're never going to get a lass to fancy you.
I would probably steal Dana and...
I know. It's a perfect swap.
Yeah, what we do?
You would do Garth because you wouldn't even need to wear a wig. You had the long blonde hair and boyish face. Can I see the teeth?
No.
Say pretty unween.
Pretty unween.
And I would do Joe Dirt.
Oh, you want Joe Dirt?
Yeah, hey, I'm Joe Dirt. Yeah. You ever fuck a pig?
Hey, well, I don't know if you saw it. It's not exactly. It's
Fuck a pig gets a laugh in the room because it's not expected.
Get you little squealer. Come here. Come on, ring, ring, ring.
No, I do Rednecky, the redneck comedian, but I would substitute Joe Dirt. Yeah.
You know, we do your catchphrase when we golf.
Rednecky, the redneck, the world's worst redneck comedian.
You ever crap so big you don't know gonna get down that toilet? Come and get some.
Yeah.
You ever fart so loud you got a dog 2 state away go, what that? Come and get some.
We do
So
say
when
come
you
and
hit
get
it,
some.
you make a putt, you go, come and get some.
We go, come and get some.
How do I make T-shirts? That's my best catchphrase.
No way.
I seriously think come and get some.
We do
because
need
it's
merch.
positive. It's not negative. Like,
You
but
could have
what
it
was
on a-
Joe Dirt's catchphrase?
Oh, life's a garden.
How would he say it?
Well,
Come on.
he would say what's crapping.
What's crap? Kind of like
What's crapping? God, I can't remember.
It's kind of it's a
almost
it's a
too
subtle
many.
Southern almost, right?
Yeah.
I want to go. I'm Joe
Yeah, he's-
Dirt. I'd like to go meet my mama.
Joe Dirt's a nice guy. Joe Dirt's a little Forrest Gumpy.
But what was how Southern was it? Was it just sort of subtle? Like, it wasn't super deep, but it was kind of like,
Man, this girl might
I'm-
be your sister. You can't
yeah,
have
I
sex
see. It
with
was
your
that guy. It was
sister.
little Casey Kasem. I'm looking for my mama and my daddy. My name's Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Do you know which way I should go? I already went that way. Are you fucking with
All
me?
right, let's not make
God.
it too stupid.
Which way's the dirt road? I gotta go to the
I
creek.
do a character called Dummy Dirt.
Hey, I gotta take a crap. How do I do it? I'm Dummy Dirt.
Can you put your finger in my bunghole? Get going?
I went hitchhiking. Next thing I knew, my thumb was in my friend's bunghole. Does that mean I like fellers?
No, thanks for just giving away the whole sequel. Well, that's it. So
Well, we'll
thank
go
you,
out blue and
England,
we'll-
for
getting us
letting us
canceled.
ruin our reputations
I'd
over
just
there.
like to say we got to start up our nuclear power plants
Michael Caine,
in
Michael
England.
Do it.
Michael Caine, this end of this podcast is not Betty's best. The hat's too funny. It doesn't make any sense. He's changing his costumes every 2 minutes.
Costumes.
The whole thing's gone to crap. I wouldn't listen to it another time if I were you. And a fly on the wall is not what it's about. I'm Michael Caine. I'm 111.
Is he still around?
Of course.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He's good.
Why are you offering me a movie? It's a yes. He does a lot of movies. Okay, thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks.
I gotta run.
Thanks for coming. I'm going to stick around
give me
and
3 steps.
check out the elevator of the mansion.
Woo!